time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. We are back on a Monday. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, as always, taking you up to 2 p.m. Nate is back with us. Great to have Nate back. And it is great to be back ourselves because we had another week of NFL football, Major League Baseball, the playoffs roll along, and Kings basketball is back. And maybe not in the way that you had hoped. If you watched yesterday, if you were able to watch yesterday, it was on Kings website and it wasn't working for a bit. And maybe that was an omen, Chris, that you should avoid the game on a NFL Sunday because it was not good. And we will discuss just how bad it was. We have some Frankie facts coming up in about 10 minutes. But first, Chris Watkins, how you doing?
Yeah, man, you're right. Sometimes the universe tries to send you a sign, and sometimes you just need to accept what the universe is trying to tell you. And it was yesterday trying to tell you, yeah, like you said, just enjoy your football Friday. It's a Sunday. Maybe, everyone always says that, the weekend's not long enough. You need 3 days, one for cleaning, one for rest, and one to kind of get your chores done. Well, you could have used yesterday as one of those days because the football was, we'll get to it later. It was very predictable, especially if your name is Alan Stiles. And, you really could have just used yesterday as a nice little reboot refresh. And unfortunately, the Kings just had to give us an early reminder of what it is that basketball is. During the offseason, everything's sunshine and rainbows and unicorns. And then, like you said, during the crosstalk, you forget that sometimes these guys can put up stinkers that'll absolutely ruin your day. And that's exactly what yesterday was. So we're going to move on and we're going to talk about it today.
Well, and that's what it comes down to, right? Big deal, little deal, or no deal. And look, obviously, in theory, it should be no deal because it's a preseason, but it depends on how they got to where they got to. And in the first couple games, at least we could say, hey, we don't care about the loss because the starters did their thing. Right. That was not the case in this game. We have some quotes from Mike Brown and everything that went into the big L that I don't know, Chris, I'm just thinking off the top of my head. You had I think they lost the day Baby Styles did the baby race because that was against the Rockets.
Yes, they did, yeah.
I don't know. We have to look up numbers on this. Kings, they do not seem to be a great Sunday afternoon team. I don't know. Yeah. I don't have the numbers on it, but it feels like they have really ticked us off.
Let's see.
That was the game that maybe it was a different Sunday afternoon game with Şengün when he got injured.
Oh, man, I remember that one.
But they still lost the game. They do not like Sunday day games. I don't know. It's just a feeling in the top of my head. I feel like we've left a lot of games around 5 o'clock upset. And then you got to go back to work on Monday. So we'll pull some numbers for that. Just a feeling, maybe I'm making it up, but it just seems like they play the Pelicans a lot on Sunday afternoons. I don't know what it is, but they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out. And we have something for you to figure out once we give that lucky number. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom Fright Fest.
That time of year.
That's right. This fall, Fright Fest is back because when the sun goes down, the scare factor turns up. Unleash your screams with Fright Fest. Only at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. When we find that lucky number, when we decide who it will be, we will give you a chance to win at 11:30. That is coming up at 11:30, so you don't want to miss that. But we have plenty of Kings to get to. We, of course, have to get to the NFL week. The Cowboys completely manhandled on Jerry Jones's birthday. It was just I fell asleep. Can I be honest with you? I fell asleep.
Absolutely, please.
And between
you had plenty of time to go.
Well, that's what happened because Baby Styles woke up. Right, I was up during the London game. Right. I made it through the first slate. I was excited for Commanders, Ravens. Then the afternoon slate came. I was trying to power through. Then Aiden Hutchinson threw it to the other. We have that call when he threw it to the Steelers once again. And the Cowboys just completely embarrassed themselves. The afternoon games were trash. They were absolute trash. And the Raiders and the Cowboys in their billion-dollar playpens were really responsible for that. But you have the Cowboys who I think, Chris, when we get into our NFL graveyard segment, I don't know if we're going to bury them yet, but they're getting close, okay? They're on life support. Another coach shove with Max Crosby. Of course, he's come out and said that's not a big deal. But Aaron Rodgers said the same thing.
That's right.
Aaron Rodgers said the same thing. Okay.
It's just our relationship.
And right after that, Salah's on vacay right now.
Mm-hmm.
He in Cabo or wherever he is right now, getting paid $20K. He got another $20K this morning. Probably already made it East Coast time. He's already made probably $5K.
Sheesh.
I'm not pocket watching, but here we are. So that happened. Okay. The terrible towels. I mean, I want to know, did they come with those terrible towels?
No,
Or-
they must
or
have
were
passed them out at the door. They had to have passed them out at the door.
Is there an inside job?
You can't bring cowbells into Golden One Center, so
Right.
Well, I know you have to bring certain cowbells in. So I don't know
I
how
don't
you
know
get
how
all them
that
towels
happened.
in there. Come on,
There were, because that's what happens with. There's so many bars in Vegas. I'm sure there was a Steelers
man, I
meetup,
can't imagine.
and they handed out the
Yeah.
towels, and
They
it's
might have rented a whole
embarrassing.
hotel.
It's embarrassing. Max Crosby, we have the sound. Max Crosby talking about, I feel bad for the fans, brother. What fans? What? Who you feel bad for? The Steelers fans. They had a lot
They
of
had
fun.
a great time. The fans in attendance.
Yeah, they look
Oh my
had fun to
goodness.
me. What fans? Are you talking about those
a great
watching
trip.
from Oakland and LA?
Right.
Because I didn't see no fans in Vegas. So, and there are no, what percentage of people that live in Vegas do you think are Raider fans? NFL fans. Now let's break it down by Raider fans. I'll set the over under at, let's say, 100% of fans that are NFL fans. Is it 25%?
Yeah, maybe. Like I don't know how much. Like we've been to Vegas a couple times, and it feels like majority of the time when you talk to like your Vegas Uber driver, they're like, "Yeah, I don't really care about sports, but like this is great for the city. It brings tons of business, and so it's great."
They love the Knights.
They do love the Knights
because that's
legit.
theirs.
That is theirs.
Because they're tired
Everything
of
else is just revenue
adopted,
for them. That's how they view everything.
It's just these adopted teams.
Exactly.
It's
100%.
It's these Bel Air teams, you know what I mean? Where Will Smith is at. Why doesn't no one want me? And they end up in Vegas, and Vegas said, "We actually don't want you either.
No, we just want your money.
We just want your money." Really, really sad situation, Chris, with Aiden Hutchinson, as we talked about in the crosstalk. Yeah, I'm not into that. I don't do who was it? Where back in the day? Paul
Kevin
George.
Ware,
I don't do those. I don't do the Deshaun Livingstons. I don't get down. I don't get down, but I heard it was really bad, and he gets carted off. Look, from a football perspective, and obviously we're wishing Aiden Hutchinson the best in recovery. From a football perspective, I mean, this is huge, Chris. This is enormous. This was a Lions team who defensively, those were our question marks. The one question we didn't have is Aiden Hutchinson being able to get to the quarterback, and Dak Prescott is he just loves getting sacked. I don't know what it is. If you're on
sacks and interceptions, so you can't get it.
If you're on Prop Talk, demons, sacks are always demons. Just pick whoever Dak is going up against, right? So with that being said, now the Lions lose Aiden Hutchinson, and I hate to do it this way, Chris, but it's just the reality of the business. If you're the Niners, that's a huge blow to the Lions, and now an NFC team that you're worried about. If you're the Niners, that's a significant blow. So I hate to sound like this, and we're trying to keep the human aspect a part of this, but the Niners will benefit from this. That's the reality. That's the reality of the situation. The Lions are not going to be as good defensively, where they already had question marks missing Aiden Hutchinson, and not just the Lions, all of these NFC teams, whether it's the Lions, your Vikings, or the Niners, the Vikings. It's an opportunity for them. We'll see how the Lions are able to come back from that. Maybe they rally around it.
Sure.
But, they were essentially on their revenge tour after they lost the way they lost to the Niners, and to lose Aiden Hutchinson is a huge blow, a huge, huge blow. And, Niners, we're dealing with CMC. It's different. It's different because we know how thin the Lions have been defensively. So we are wishing Aiden Hutchinson the best. Like I said, Chris, I was really excited to watch the Commanders-Ravens game, and it did not disappoint. Obviously, you didn't have Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels didn't light up the world like he's been, but that Ravens defense is no joke. I still think he played his butt off, and really that game to me said more about Lamar, because we talk about primetime Lamar, and even though it wasn't a primetime game, a lot of eyes were on that matchup. It's funny because somebody says, well, what about the playoffs? There is a difference. NFL regular season primetime Lamar is a baller. Okay, playoff Lamar, which yes, in theory is prime time. It just seems to be a bit different. But Lamar, he showed up. The Ravens showed that they're nothing to play with, and they just wanted to show the young buck that there were levels to this. People were comparing the two, and Jaden Daniels is going to be a heck of a player, but there were levels to this. So yeah, a lot of storylines that came out of this weekend, Chris. We also have, we'll get to Colin Cowherd in a little bit later in the show. I know we play, I wouldn't say a ton of Colin Cowherd, but when it makes sense, we do. This one might take the cake. Essentially, Colin Cowherd created a list of quarterbacks. He gets asked which quarterbacks he'd take over Brock Purdy, and they avoid the Mahomes, the Lamars. These are all quarterbacks with question marks. And when you hear the quarterbacks that he chooses and doesn't choose to take over Brock Purdy, you are going to crack up. We also have just more randomness from the NFL. Sirianni going at the Eagles fans. We have infighting there in Philadelphia, and Damian Woody of ESPN, he lets him hear it. And the Jaguars, you talk about the NFL graveyard, Chris. The Jaguars, they're we're probably going to get out the shovel, but a lot of players on that team had some words to say, and they're stuck in London, by the way. You got to deal with that L, Chris, and you're stuck in London. So really just a couple different takeaways that we will get into over the next 4 hours, and we can't wait to do it. Coming up next, we get into the Kings and the return of Frankie Facts. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
It's homecoming for Sacramento State football this Saturday, 6 p.m. versus Weber State. Stay for the post-game fireworks. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
For 76 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 76th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
About to get into the Frankie Facts, and yeah, I don't want to freak out, Chris. I really don't. But I mean, I did like there were a couple good things. I did like the De'Aaron. I like Mad De'Aaron. I do enjoy that. We saw a nice slam dunk from him, and that was good. But besides that, there just wasn't a ton of good, and we'll get to the facts that maybe were and weren't good right here. It is time for Frankie's Facts.
Let's do it. Shout out our guy, Frankie Carnicelli. You can read his post-game recaps. I believe, Frankie, actually, we're switching it up this year, if I'm not mistaken. We'll double-check when we do the roundtable again. But I believe Frankie's doing home games and Brendan is doing road games. So might do some Brendan facts or I don't know, Brendan Bars or something. Maybe we could figure out some alliteration for that. Yeah, maybe we can have you like freestyle what Brendan.
Or he can. He's a rapper.
That's why you're here. Got the
him
big
and Emil.
ideas. There we go. We got DJ Bedhead back there.
DJ Bedhead.
Come on.
Yeah.
Get ready for the album by the end of the year.
Wow.
Like the Vegas
Perfect.
That's like his mustard on the beef.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll eat the table.
Whoa!
All right.
Oh, man. Frankie Facts, we have missed you. Here we go. Again, you can read the post-game recaps over on SactownSports.com after every single Sacramento Kings game this season, including the preseason. And Keegan Murray has had a strong start to this preseason. Let's start with the positive. We can get to the negative. We know what the negative is. Let's focus on the positive. Frankie writes, those who felt the signing of DeMar DeRozan would hurt the development of Keegan Murray should feel some relief this preseason as the third-year forward continues to play a solid brand of basketball. Frankie writes, one game removed from a 17.5 steal performance against the Golden State Warriors on Friday, Murray quickly got involved in the Kings offense by leading all scorers with 10 in the first half. The two-way threat also continued to be a plus on the defensive end. Again, 5 steals on Friday, added 2 more last night or yesterday, I guess, as that game was in the middle of the day, swiping 2 steals over his first 16 minutes of game time. The Iowa product concluded his night with 10 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals over 28 minutes. Through 3 preseason games so far, Murray has not regressed to the spot-up or nothing threat that he was during his rookie season. Instead of sinking into the background as a 5th option, he is finding his window for self-creation opportunities, and that's what Sacramento needs from the forward on a nightly basis to apply pressure to opposing defenses. Next, let's just touch on some of the bad. The 3-point defense continues to be a problem for the Kings this preseason. Portland shook off a rusty start from deep by opening up the second half, which they were up for what it's worth. Like you said, in those first preseason games, we talked a lot about, it doesn't matter. Actually, if you look at it, the Kings starters actually outscored the Warriors starters and bench in the first half. Yeah, we couldn't say that this time as Portland was up with their not even full cast. Forget the players that didn't play. Sure. Chauncey Billups was busy getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. So they didn't even have their head coach there yesterday.
Yeah.
And the Blazers were up at halftime. They drilled 4 of their first 9 attempts in that second half. They finished the third quarter 7 of 15, 46% from 3, extending that third quarter lead to 18 points en route to the Kings being outscored in that third quarter 30-18. And again, just preseason, but you just don't like to see those kind of things, especially against an opponent, the quality or lack of quality of the Portland Trail Blazers. But let's move back onto the positive as Jordan McLaughlin made his Sacramento King debut. Upon checking in, the veteran guard quickly asserted himself, scoring 5 points in his first 4 minutes of playing, while also finding Domantas Sabonis in transition for an assist. The USC product, not DeMar. And, we got another one, too, don't we? It's DeMar. And,
yeah.
Boogie Ellis. That's right. The USC product, that being Jordan McLaughlin, finished his first preseason appearance with 10 points, 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, to go along with 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal over 18 minutes. Frankie writes, McLaughlin, who has taken care of the basketball during his time in the NBA, 4.4 assists to turnover ratio, which is insane. That is incredibly elite. Will likely be Sacramento's backup point guard come opening night, as rookie Devin Carter, as we know, with his shoulder, works his way back towards a return. We saw a lot of one Mason Jones getting those first quarter minutes. That was not the case yesterday, as the Kings were a little bit, just a skosh, just like a little pinch of salt healthier for yesterday's preseason game. And here's some just throwaway notes. After going 13 for 46, 28% from 3 in Friday's game in San Francisco, and 7 of 27 in their first preseason game against the Warriors here at Golden One Center, the Kings turned in yet another poor performance from deep, finishing 5 of 28. That's 18%. So for those tracking at home, the 3 preseason games from deep for the Sacramento Kings, they shot 28%, 26%, and then yesterday shot 18%. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I can tell you that's last in the NBA. Domantas Sabonis finished last night with 9 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists over 30 minutes. Sounds good, right? Well, he also turned the ball over 5 times and looked like he was playing NBA 2K like online game where he was just like, I'm just here to put up stats and don't really care. I don't really have much investment into the game, and let's be a little loose with it. It's preseason, but definitely felt like Sabonis didn't quite have the ball on a string yesterday. De'Aaron Fox, he scored 11 points, grabbed 7 boards last night, although he dealt with foul trouble on his Mason Jones. Mason Jones didn't get much. I don't know if Mason played yesterday, but I think he checked in later in the game. But De'Aaron was on his Mason Jones as he had 5 fouls in just 28 minutes. Mason, of course, had a ton of fouls. I think he fouled out in that Golden State game on Wednesday. Sacramento turned over the ball 26 times. Talk about getting that Golden State DNA in you. Sacramento turned the ball over 26 times on Sunday. Those 26 turnovers turned into 33 points for the Blazers, who were incredibly effective in transition, being that young team that they are. So not great. But if you're looking for silver linings or things to at least try and take from a loss, always check out Frankie Cardicelli or Brendan Nunez's post-game recaps over on SacktownSports.com. Great website.
Where are you at? Do you care? Are you worried that the Sabonis? Look, be careful what you wish for. And I know a lot of Kings fans were asking for Sabonis to shoot the middies, not necessarily the threes. Yeah. Where are you at on you can't just sell it after 6 missed threes, but on Friday, Domantas Sabonis missed all 3 of his threes. Yeah. Sunday, he did the same thing. Where are you at with this experiment, if you will? Not that it's not a crazy experiment, but do you not mind it? Because here's the thing, there's 2 more games left, right? You said most of the time they won't play the last game, so they have essentially 1 more game to get this taste out of their mouth. Where are you at with the 3-point experiment?
I think it's fine for now. I don't have a problem with the ones he's taken. He is wide open on them. Yeah. So as long as he's wide open, taking them, his feet are set, everything looks fine. I'm okay with it, but obviously if he's going to be going 0 for 3 on most nights, it's just not going to end up being worth it. Obviously, you would rather have a make than just have him missing threes for the sake of taking them. Yeah. It's fine for now. I think he'll be mid-30s, and we'll just kind of – I don't think I'll ever be great with it, but as long as he's wide open, I really can't fault it. I think that's the point of running your offense is to get open looks, and if that's the open look you get, it's not that Sabonis is incapable of hitting that shot. It really obviously isn't where you would ideally like him taking his shots from. It's definitely a win for the defense. That's the part where I just don't know if I can get over, because just fundamentally it feels like doesn't matter what sport you play. If you're doing something that the opposing team is like, yeah, we're okay if Domantas Sabonis hits 5 threes today and that's how we lose. Okay, right. Go ahead, do it again. Yeah, we'll chalk it up as it was your night, and we'll see if you can do it tomorrow. You can. I'm sure there's similar things you could list like that in baseball. Obviously, in football, there's tons of things where it's like, hey, if the Raiders are going to throw 350 yards on us, well, then I guess that's just good on them, and you got to chalk it up to that. But that's kind of how I feel about it. It's fine for now. As long as he's open, I don't really have a problem with it. But, yeah, if he's going to put in a ton of 0 for 3 performances, I guess maybe you have to reconsider at some point.
Yeah, well, it just gets – the reason I ask is because, we're essentially running out of time. So do you take the experiment into the regular season, which I think you probably do, and then at that point it's just tough because you work on something, but then you're just going to revert back to what you're comfortable doing. So I would, the midi that we saw in the first game, stuff like that, I think everybody is good with. The threes they'll come and go. From the 209 Warriors play-by-play called it best. With Sabonis, he is shooting threes. He is 23 feet away from the basket. Oh, yeah. Why would we want that? Yeah. Why would the Kings want that? But, when you're trying to figure out your bag and the point is, when you're that wide open, we believe you can make the shot. Yeah. And if you make one of the shots, then they have to eventually respect you. But, if you're not going to make them, then no.
It's a useless exercise.
It's a useless – you have to make – one of the first 2, because at that point it should be like this, Chris. If you miss the first 2, just shut it down.
Yeah.
Because throughout the game, you're not going to get anybody to pull out anyway because they're going to say, well, you've already missed
it. Yeah, and if you make the next one, then that one was the lucky one.
Right, you should run the option, and if you make the first one, you act accordingly. From Patrick Donaldson, Sack Chat, Denver is 0-3, and they aren't panicking. We are still missing Kevin and Lyles. Not panicking, but you did get your butt whooped by a not the worst. I mean, the Blazers are the worst team in the West, right?
Probably, yeah.
So, people are just getting some flashbacks. That's all. Coming up next, we go back to the gridiron. Max Crosby clears the air as the wheels have come off for the Raiders. And are the Browns actually just trolling Deshaun Watson at this point? Last but not least, Nick Sirianni, he's a mess, and Damian Woody calls him a clown. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Kyle Draper. Equip your staff with top-notch uniforms, professionally cleaned and delivered weekly to your workplace by Alsco Uniforms, proud sponsors of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. Our services include uniforms, towels, floor mats, mops, first aid supplies, and restroom essentials to uphold cleanliness and safety standards in your business. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Visit alsco.com to learn more. Again, visit ALSCO.com.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all four arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news! Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
DC here for Folsom Lake Kia, where they make car shopping easy with a huge selection of new Kia models, low payments, and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, your trusted dealer in Folsom for over 25 years. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
How could I forget? My guy, Spencer Rattler. He didn't look bad. Obviously, I would have liked for him to look better.
It was a good first half. It was a good second quarter.
It got a little worse as it went on. I saw some flashes, Chris. We gotta see what happens next game. I was just thinking, I forgot to bring up my boy Spencer Rattler, and I feel like broadcasts have an interesting job because you don't want to say when somebody's playing poorly because you listen to that broadcast. Yeah. By the way, as we get into the Brock Purdy conversation, YouTube's inability to surface multi-view yesterday made me watch longer stints of each game, and it has helped with the Brock Purdy take that I'm going to give later.
Okay.
Okay. Because it was broke. It wasn't working for the first slate.
Okay.
So
multi-view wasn't?
Multi-view was not.
Okay.
They said uninstall it, reinstall. I did all this.
You were troubleshooting on a Sunday morning.
I was ticked off. I was about to call it a Geek Squad.
Yeah.
I was upset.
Yeah.
And it worked in the second slate for those terrible games, and I fell asleep.
Great. Yeah, you can watch them all.
But the first slate, I had to, I'm switching back and forth, and it actually helped with the Brock Purdy take that I will give later.
No red zone for you? Not a red zone guy?
No, and that's why I wasted that money, because I don't mind red zone, but I like watching. I just like perusing.
It's different. It's like ADD football. When you're watching
it's just different.
Can be a lot. It really can be a lot.
But with that, I was supposed to put this in our group chat, and I didn't. This guy had this person. I don't know. It was $100. I think $100 bet. Okay. They laid just name the young quarterbacks. It was an interception lay.
Oh, okay.
Dak, Bo Nix, Spencer Rattler, Aiden O'Connell, and there was like 3 more, right? And he hit $100 for $1,500, something like that. And somebody said, this shows how bad quarterback play is in the league right now. I mean, it was a 7 QB parlay that hit. It was ridiculous.
That's not supposed to happen.
If you're hitting all the rookies, though, I like that. Especially
because I think Jaden Daniels, he might have had one too. I think he had one.
I don't know if he did. Off the top of my head.
But it was hilarious when I saw that, because I wouldn't have even not that we can't even do it out here.
Well, Rattler threw a TD, I believe, before he threw a pick too. So I mean, you got to be sweating a little bit. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
He didn't look great. But.
He was cooking a little bit, but yeah, I saw that, Chris, and I was gonna send it to you. Let's see. No, Jaden Daniels, no interception actually. 2 TDs, 269 yards. But yeah, the Spencer Rattler train. It's not moving as fast as it was, but, I'm going to give my guy some time. And Max Crosby is needing to be given some time after he clears the air from pushing his coach, which we've seen before, but he was asked about it after the game, Chris, and he basically he didn't really go the Aaron Rodgers route, but we were just hyping each other up, yada, yada, yada. Here it is.
I'm not even thinking about it. And then all of a sudden.
Dang. Something wrong with that audio. We'll try to get it. But basically, Max Crosby said we're alpha males, we're football players, and we were just hyping.
We do things different.
Yeah, we do things different. We were just hyping each other up. And yeah, this is what I have the quote here.
Beautiful.
We play football. We're grown men. Yeah. We're alpha males. Yeah. We don't greet each other the same as you beta boys.
We do Dodger home run celebrations, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, we thrust. Sorry, none of those were in the quotes.
He also looked at every camera and said he loved his coach, and he made it a point to be like, we're cool.
Yes, he says.
Get the quote out.
Yes, the actual quote. We play football. We're grown men. We're alpha males. We don't greet each other the same. He was hyping me up, and I hyped him up with the shove. I love Mike Caldwell. That's my guy. The camera made it look bad. It looked like I was throwing him out of the club, and everybody laughs at that point. That was not what happened at all. Now, this does seem to have a different vibe than the Aaron Rodgers situation, but it was still not great. You're losing.
Not great aesthetics.
No. You're not winning games, and that's just the last thing you need. So people, Chris, with the Aiden Hutchinson injury, everybody's saying send him to Detroit. Get him to Detroit. Hendon Hooker
played some yesterday.
Hendon Hooker and a second and a third for Max Crosby. I'm doing it. I'll do it right now.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they're not playing for nothing. Why not?
I don't. You do that? Would you do that, Chris?
No, I wouldn't. No,
I know, but I know some.
You better watch. That's what I'm saying. You better watch out right now. They don't play games, okay? They don't hear sarcasm.
No, okay. Well, Nate, let's try this one. When the wheels came off from the Aiden O'Connell touchdown. Let's hear this audio because I got something to say.
Okay.
3rd and long here for Las Vegas. Dime package for the Steelers. O'Connell delivers it downfield, and he delivers it to the other team. Dante Jackson with the pick. Jackson tackled inside the 10. The wheels have come off for the Raiders.
You know what I got to say to that, Chris?
The wheels on the bus go round and round. About time. Know yourself.
The Raiders are understanding the assignment.
I don't think they understand it. I think they're falling into it.
They are understanding the assignment. None of these stupid wins for no reason. Right. This is what I like to see. Right. Tank, tank, tank. Money in the bank. I love it. I love it.
And you know what? That's the mentality that I feel like throughout the season, Raider fans should be a lot more fluid than what they actually are. And that's where they get themselves in trouble, is that they fall too hard. They're like, they tell you so adamantly, no. We're going to be good. We're going to be good. No, you're underestimating us, instead of being, wait and see approach and things like that. And instead, it's got to be, no, you're an idiot for thinking the Raiders are going to be bad. But every Raider fan in the Raiders organization should have the same mentality that you have, where, 2 weeks ago or whatever, 3 weeks ago after they beat the Ravens, sure, you can feel good about yourself. Who knows? Maybe the season's going to surprise you. But where you're at right now, you should be fluid enough to say, like this season, what are we playing for? What if we're going to turn this around? How does that look? How does that happen? And, it just feels like, to me, the Raiders are falling into exactly who I thought they were going to be at the start of the year. And it's just not a good football team. It's not that they're the worst team in the league, but it's just that I think that there's a ton of teams that have a lot more going for them, that have an actual identity. And it's very clear, especially at this point. I don't think the Raiders know what on a week-to-week basis they're going to play like.
I don't think this guy is, as we talk about the 2021 draft class, I don't know that this guy's actually going to be good. But if you were to take a flyer on Trey Lance, at least
that man didn't even play yesterday either. I was heartbroken.
That's actually crazy.
I said, come on. Come on.
That is nuts.
They put in, I think it was Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I think
it was Cooper Rush in the fourth quarter.
He might be the best backup in the league.
Cooper's
all right.
They're going to be clamoring.
I like a lot.
I guess Flacco, huh?
Well, I'm a
I like Jameis.
I'm a Tyrod Taylor guy.
Jameis is I don't know. I mean,
the Raiders starter right now, I think, is better.
It's just Trey's third stringer. It's like, what are you going to do with him?
At least, but my point is, at least with Trey, he has some tools that maybe he'll never put together. You're looking at Aiden O'Connell and you're thinking, what is the best this could be? Right, I don't think that Trey will get to the best we thought he would be when the Niners drafted him. But at least you could convince yourself of maybe we could give it a shot, right?
Something.
You're dealing with the guy. What I'm saying is, at least Trey had a high ceiling. Yeah. That's not to say he's going to hit it. Aiden O'Connell doesn't have a high ceiling.
And they have the same floor.
And they have the same floor,
which is
unplayable.
So what are we doing? It's crazy.
That's what's confusing me so much about the Raiders situation, is just like, again, like you said, what are you doing? What are you playing for? Like, there's no hope. That's the thing about having a young quarterback. Even if you had a Spencer Rattler, if you had a Hendon Hooker, if you had a Trey Lance, even, you can convince yourself, hey, well, I'll watch to see the development of this guy. Like Drake May, week 1, it might be really, really rough, but it's about getting that really rough out of the way so that maybe we're in week 6 right now. Maybe by week 13, 14, you could start to see this guy's playable. Maybe this guy is going to be, Justin Fields. Hey, it's not that he's going to be an elite starter or a top 15 quarterback. It's going to get him from garbage to we can put him in there, and maybe if things go the right way, game script wise, he can have some fun moments and won't lose us the game. It's just, I don't know what exactly the Raiders are building towards right now.
Nothing.
They're building towards trying to not embarrass themselves on a weekly basis. They're building towards trying to build a culture, but it doesn't feel like there's any foundation being laid.
And I know they're going to go to LA, and they're probably going to beat the Rams.
Oh, finally a home game for them.
Yeah,
that's nice.
They're going to beat the Rams. I know they are. So fine, I'll allow it. But after that, get back to losing. And you got the Chiefs after that.
Not if Puka or Cooper Kupp plays, though.
Well, please, I want them to lose, but I just don't think. I think this is a game where they'll rally around and we own LA.
I thought it was going to be this week.
We own LA, and we had to deal with people mad at Devontae Adams for wanting to leave this clown show. Yeah. Okay, now I know he made his bed.
Yeah.
He made his bed. You got to lay in it. I get all that, but I mean, you got options. Okay, let's stop pretending. A lot of fans like to pretend, well, I can't just leave my job. Well, yeah, but this is different. You could, but you're just afraid because you can't get another one. Devontae Adams, he could. Yep. And it goes throughout the NFL. Not everybody, and the NBA, when we have these conversations, not every player can't do what Devontae Adams did or what Kevin Durant did or Kyrie Irving. There is the juice worth the squeeze. And that's what we're figuring out. Okay, if you had that amount of control in your job or in your career, maybe you'd utilize it. Maybe you wouldn't. We don't know, but you don't have it. I don't have it. Most people don't have it. Yeah. That's just what it is. Speaking of clowns, Damian Woody comes at Nick Sirianni and the whole situation that happened after the game. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
It's homecoming for Sacramento State football this Saturday, 6 p.m. versus Weber State. Stay for the post-game fireworks. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh, my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1. Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
The Sacramento State Hornets are back at home this Saturday. Come check out the high-flying Hornets as they host the Weber State Wildcats. It's homecoming, so come check out some great football and stay for the post-game fireworks. That's Saturday, October 19th, as the Hornets take on Weber State, Hornet Stadium, 6 o'clock. Tickets on sale now at hornetsports.com. And remember, Stingers up.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote. That's theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9999 now.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers, too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
So Nick Sirianni is a guy who, I guess infamously at this point, he shakes his head at the camera when the Eagles are winning. He was taunting a team. Was that during the Super Bowl when he was taunting a team, or it was definitely the playoffs and Jalen Hurts had to tell him to stop? He's just one of those guys who he's supposed to be. I guess the idea of Nick Sirianni is he's this kind of brash Philly dude that, you know, everybody, if like a Patrick Beverly of coaches, if he's your coach, you love him. If he's not your coach, you hate him. And that second part is definitely true. I think a lot of people cannot stand Nick Sirianni, but essentially what he did was, as the Eagles, who were coming off a bye, you know, they'll get booed if they have a bad quarter, and they beat the Browns, who are terrible, by the way. Horrible. Deshaun Watson has the worst QBR, worse than Mayo Man, and it's actually not close. We think there are a lot of people think the Browns might just be public shaming him. Just obviously we're joking, but it's pretty bad out there. So essentially Nick Sirianni looks at the crowd and is talking trash to the crowd in Philly that always seem to boo them when they're not playing well. Then after that, he proceeds to go to the podium with his kids, and a lot of people are accusing him of using the kids as a shield because he's not going to get into a back and forth with a reporter, or a reporter is not going to kind of challenge him the same way when he's got, some adorable kiddos up there. So that is not helping him avoid the criticism of other NFL talking heads. And Damian Woody sounded off on Get Up this morning about the Nick Sirianni situation. Here it is.
What's this clown behavior, bro? This dude is a clown. Like, seriously, you gonna seriously talk trash to the fans?
Your own fans.
Your own fans. Like, listen, people come out here and pay big money to come out and watch you put a product out on the field. When you don't perform well, they have every right to boo you.
Damn right.
And you're going to get all in your feelings because fans are booing you because your team stinks? Like, bro, come on. And then you brought up in our meet, like, oh, then you're going to bring your kids into the post game to kind of soften the blow from what reporters might ask you. This dude is a straight clown, bro. Like, I just don't have any respect for what this man is doing. Y'all barely beat the god-awful Cleveland Browns, and then you want to talk trash to the fans. Get the hell out of here.
Well,
Chris, I'm going to let you go first.
I mean, I completely agree. I think it's just not what you want your head coach to do. It's just it feels like you shouldn't even have to explain why your coach yelling at the fans is a bad look for your organization as at whole. I get that Philly's a little bit different. They have a weird way of supporting or showing affection at all. Like you said, they'll boo after a bad quarter, after a bad drive, whatever. But, as a coach, you're just kind of supposed to rise above it all. You are supposed to kind of, not necessarily think you're better than them, but just, that's just acknowledge that that's what fans do and they have their right to do it. But, it's not a two-way street. You have to just kind of learn to ignore it and to not respond to it. I just don't get it. I mean, I understand, like you said, it's kind of his thing. He's a rah guy, and it's he's like, I think the Pat Beverly example is perfect. He's meant to be an irritant, but I just kind of think you lose the plot a little bit when you're yelling at your own fans who are the people that are literally supporting you. I don't know. It just felt stupid.
I'm not doing this to be contrarian. I actually did not have a problem with it. Just for all the things that I laid out prior to, just the fact that, I mean, it's a little ridiculous because obviously, I spent some time in Philadelphia. If that's your thing and you're going to boo after one bad quarter when these guys, I mean, they did it last season when they had a great run at the beginning. The wheels fell off at the end. So, and I don't know, and I haven't talked to, I got to text my buddies and Kyle Draper, see what he thinks about it. I can guess Kyle Draper doesn't like it, but we can ask him. And I can talk to my buddies, my Eagle fan friends in Philly. Try saying that 5 times fast. But for me, I just think that this is who they are. To be completely honest, Chris, I don't think it's a apples to apples example, but kind of reminds me of Mike Brown's relationship with some of the players on the Kings, how it's a little bit different, they'll flip each other off and, there'll be them yelling here and there. Malik Monk will tell the coaches to stop complaining. There are different environments.
But that's players to coach versus players or fan to coach.
If I am a coach, right, and it's specific to the Philly situation, we're rolling. It's a hard road to hoe every single week. You're acting like, I mean, you guys are booing as if we're the Raiders. Right. The Raiders don't get booed because nobody's there.
Right.
But they don't even get,
there's actually cheers in that
There's cheers, there's no one there to boo. But there are so many teams that deserve to be booed. Uh-huh. And the Eagles, it wasn't with Sirianni. You got a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. You went back to the Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. I just feel like if that's their shtick and they're going to boo after one bad quarter, and they haven't been great this season, but they have a bad drive, Chris. Mm-hmm. Not a bad quarter, a bad drive. And the Eagle fans will boo. If I'm Nick Sirianni, would I do it? Probably not. Who knows? But probably not. But I'm Nick Sirianni. hey, this is our relationship. You guys boo me when we stink, and I'm gonna give it right back to you when I feel like we play well. And maybe that's his, and he feels like he's taken up for his guys in a way. I think the outside won't understand it. And again, I want to talk to my friends that are Eagles fans and how they receive it. I do think bringing the kids to the press conference was soft. I do think that was on purpose, because I do think that, he knew the vibes would be different. But the initial idea of, yeah, you guys boo us after a bad drive. Hey, you paid your money. We left with a win. What's up? That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Would I do it? Am I encouraging it? No. And in basically any other situation, I probably don't agree with it. But the fans are such agitators in Philly that I feel like the rules are a little bit different.
Sure. I just really feel like, especially the part that really didn't sit well with me also is the fact that you're flexing after beating a 1-4 Browns team at the time. They're 1-5 now. And it's like, you beat them by 4 too. It's like you really, really struggled. The Eagles are supposed to be in the class still. Now, maybe not at the level, but in the class of the top teams, at least in the NFC.
Yeah.
And if you're flexing and yelling and saying, look how great I am, or look, are you not entertained after beating the Browns 16-20? I just think it's a little bit bad. And I also just want to clarify, because I think it's important. So you're saying it's just a Philly situation also that makes it okay? Because I feel like if this were Kyle Shanahan, you would not feel the same way.
Yeah. But Niner fans don't boo the Niners after a bad drive.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're saying it's the situation in total makes it not even okay, but understand, or like
specific
you get
to the Eagles fans, because of how they give it. Their reputation, they threw snowballs at Santa. We know all this. Yeah. Their specific reputation, I think, is why Sirianni felt like I can do this. I can do this.
No, that's. I think that's understandable for sure. Like, I still wouldn't have done it. I definitely don't want my coach doing it. I think it's Bush League. I think it just looks like you're stooping down to a certain level, and let your wins do the talking. Like, as cliche and corny as that might sound, like, I think if you're the coach, you're really, really not supposed to engage in the lowest common denominator. And to me, that's an example of Sirianni maybe letting the noise get to him. You really understand that he feels the pressure. He hears the noise of his job being on the line. And I think in his mind, it showed strength. It showed resilience. It shows, hey, I'm here to stay. I'm a lion. Hear me roar. But I kind of do think this might be a Draymond example of insecurity speaks volumes. And I feel like he is yelling because he was probably really into that game and felt, if I lose this game, there's a chance that this is my last one. And I kind of feel like he might have shown his nerves a little bit by that reaction. I don't know. It just felt to me like not something you do when you're truly at the top. Like, there's a Game of Thrones quote of no true king ever has to say he's a king. And to me, it's like, if you have to flex and pump your muscles and scream and shout from the rooftop to tell everybody how good you are, or how physical or how unafraid you are, to me, that really screams that you're terrified and you might not be as secure as maybe what you're putting on.
So I have this, Chris, from one of the Philly stations from sports radio.
Philly radio must be A+ today.
Yes, 94 WIP from Joe Giglio, and he says,
Hey, with Joe Cafilio.
Yeah. He says, if I'm Jeff Lurie today, I'm calling Nick Sirianni into my office and giving him an ultimatum. You apologize to the fan base, or you pack your office up and leave. We have a distraction at the head coaching spot. That post from Sports Radio 94 WIP has over 1,000 likes. And I say that because that's probably people from Philly.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, whether Philly fans thought, okay, we can, and maybe it's not a matter of you can dish it, but you can't take it. The infighting just can't happen. Like you said, they pay for a product. They're going to let you know when the product isn't good enough. So to answer the question based on how I was feeling, maybe it's all fair is in love and booing. That's not how Philly feels. That's not how the radio host feels. That's not how the fans seem to feel. And again, you're not the difference between Kyle Shanahan. Even Kyle Shanahan would have a better position because we don't want to leave this offensive mind. This guy is not a guy who is a specialist in either thing.
Yeah.
So on
he's
top
not taking
of that,
anything with him.
No,
right?
he's not taking anything with him besides his attitude. So that's just not a great look, man. So I guess, look, personally, I thought, okay, maybe there's something that could be allowed here. Clearly, Chris, as I'm going through this on social media, not being received well.
I can imagine. I mean, I can imagine. And especially in Philly, like, I think that they're going to have a strong response to it. And I do kind of wonder if this is going to be a straw that breaks the camel's back. I mean, we've heard rumors and there's plenty of articles written about Jalen Hurts' relationship with Nick Sirianni, and it's not supposedly a great one. I wonder how much this is too of, hey, everything's good when you're winning, but when you start losing, shticks get old and they're just not as funny as what they were before. And I mean, you've been really on it for a while now. Like, I do wonder how long the Eagles and in the front office and maybe even the fans are going to be okay with it if they're going to be 500. Like, it's cool to yell and scream and feel like you're the best and try and sun people when you're one of the best teams in the NFL. But if you're in the middle of the pack, well, sorry, Eagles fans, I'm going to say the worst thing you ever want to hear. You're no different than the Cowboys. You're just loud and you think you're better than everyone. And I just think that the case is that you're a lot more middle of the pack right now.
Yeah, it's bad, man. I mean, he's getting roasted. He's getting roasted, and I guess that he deserves it. He deserves it. You cannot do stuff like that, and that's exactly what he did. Well, there's another team struggling even worse than the Philadelphia Eagles, because at least they won yesterday. The Jaguars, they are stuck in London as they have another game, and they lay an egg on the first one. Not a great week for the Jags, and we have some sound from players saying that, people are quitting out there, and Doug Peterson says that the Jags need a culture change. That kind of sounds like hustling backwards. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
It's 4th and goal. The pressure's on. The home team needs this to win it. No matter what you're up against, it's always a win at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Special finance options and trade-in offers make it easier than ever to upgrade your ride. Because at Stockton Honda, we believe everyone deserves a winning deal.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number 1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
For 76 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and, well, many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 76th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
As we continue to go around the NFL, got some Kings coming up, of course, in the 11 o'clock hour. But we had to get to this Jaguars situation because, I don't know, Chris, does it feel like, I don't know, maybe it's due to all of the media or the player media, and maybe players feeling empowered, whether or not players feel like they can be more honest because they can always go on a podcast and then clarify their statements. It feels like this season there is a lot of just honesty and just transparency, with there's still people hot, the shoves and, oh, well, it didn't mean this and then it actually did mean that. But, you have a Jag safety. I know you have the audio here, Chris. I'm about to throw it over to you, talking about a lot of quit. And it just feels like people are being more honest than they have. The athlete speak is still there, but more athletes are willing to just say whatever is on their mind.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it's a situation as dire as what it is with Jacksonville. Right. Like, it's just like
there's no hiding. I
guess.
Like
it's almost worse if you're lying at that point, and it's like, okay, man, like, come on, you're just not being genuine. And I think, it is a little bit refreshing, especially when you're as down bad as they are, like, hearing that level of honesty. Like, I just think that's actually how you could potentially improve, is if you acknowledge the things that you do well or aren't doing well. That's kind of the first step in getting better. And, we'll have to give, this is Andre Sisco's audio we're about to hear. We got to give him credit because this really is the kind of thing where when this quote is going to circulate, it's going to get around the locker room, and I think people are going to understand and kind of take notice, much like Antonio Pierce making the business decisions comment the other week. It's just not something you can avoid. Let's play it. Here's the Jag safety, Andre Sisco, after his team was pretty much embarrassed in London, and where things stand with the team right now.
Oh, was it as bad as it felt and looked out there?
Yeah, it was really bad. I just feel like it was, how should I say this? A lot of quit. And, I don't know, just, last line of defense, in a situation like that, you could feel when we're playing as one and when we're not. And felt very early in the game, kind of once things kind of maybe at a halftime, that we weren't playing as one.
There it is. That's Andre Sisco again. Just be like, You could hear, I mean, obviously, like, he's trying to pick his words. He's not trying to be salacious or anything, but I do think that that's just the reality of the situation, especially in football. You can tell, feels like football more than any other sport, when guys aren't truly going 100%, it's really obvious, whether it be, you know, hey, I'm going to get in on this gang tackle, but I'm really just ring around the rosying right now. Like, you can really tell when a football player is giving their 100% and when they're just kind of coasting on a play. Remember the Dre, or not Dre Greenlaw, the Niners D tackle that got hurt and
Javon Kinlaw. Chase Young.
No. This season, D tackle Hargrave. When Hargrave got hurt, remember, people said he took the play off, but it was actually his tricep that was injured. Again, I'm more just pointing that out to say it's really, really obvious when guys don't give their 100%. And I do think, you could just really tell with that Jacksonville squad when things got down. I mean, they were down. Alan, you said you watched the entirety of the game. Like, the final score didn't even really show how bad that game was at one point.
Yeah.
You have Gabe Davis like dropping wide open touchdowns and things like that. They just weren't giving their 100%. It just seems like it's an unfixable situation out there in Jacksonville.
I saw
out there in London, I should say.
Compilation of 4 touchdown passes dropped in that game for Trevor Lawrence. So it doesn't look like it's his thing too. But there's a comment, PFF comment underneath this post from Twitter we just played. Andre Sisco, who was the man speaking in that interview, he was graded 90.2 in PFF. That's elite. That is very good. While 16 of the remaining 17 Jags defenders were in the 60s or below, which is like D minus trash.
So there was one guy playing his behind off, and everybody else was just lagging.
Yeah, and it's the guy who's
the
kind of calling them
defense.
out.
Yeah.
And in that audio too, he takes a second to like think about how he's going to say it. I'm pretty sure he's probably thinking about it. The whole game.
Guaranteed.
Like, how am I going to address this? And I thought he did a pretty good job as a leader on the defense. Like, hey, let's go.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where, you're supposed to follow a path in the NFL. You get your quarterback, you believe you have a guy, you build around the quarterback, and you see how far that they can take you. And it just kind of stalled for the Jags, right? They had that weird, and the Jags have had a weird last decade. They had the Blake Bortles era.
Weird existence,
honestly. Yeah. They had the Blake Bortles era where they won some games they probably weren't supposed to. They had Jalen Ramsey. They had an elite defense. They messed around and, they beat the Patriots, and they did a couple things back in the day, and the Steelers. And then you kind of took that as far as you could take it. Then they stunk for a bit. And then after that, you go out, you stunk. Okay, tell them what they won, Johnny. You go out and you get your number one, by far, it was supposed to be the number one pick in that 2021 draft. And he's looked good. I wouldn't say he's looked great, but and then after that, is this whole thing, Chris, is this team any better? I'm trying to figure out if Doug Peterson is a great coach or not. I know he's good. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. I'm just trying to figure out as Urban Meyer just collects Fox checks, if they went with Doug Peterson, and I think he might have still been with the Eagles at that time, but let's say they just don't go with Urban. Are they still feeling the effects of Urban Meyer, or is it time to move on from that excuse?
No, I mean, they're so far removed from Urban Meyer. Like, you can't use it as an excuse. I mean, you could say it for Trevor Lawrence, maybe just that, maybe he had to unlearn so many things that he learned in his first really important developmental year, but for the team in total, I mean, no, like it's Doug Peterson's team at this point. You don't get credit for making the playoffs the year after and then get to conveniently use Urban Meyer as an excuse when you're bad and culture like that. I think everybody at this point has to take accountability. And I mean, I think it's on the guys that are in that locker room right now. Like, it's also on Nate's boy Balky too. Like, this team is built terribly. Like, I don't know exactly what direction or what, we talk about identity with a couple teams. I just brought it up with the Raiders. I don't think the Jaguars really know what identity they want to have. It seems like they bring in a random collection of players and just hope that the stars are going to lead them to a certain record, but I don't really know exactly. I think they were hoping to be built on the pass game with Trevor Lawrence, but doesn't feel like they've adjusted their expectations. I guess much like the watching audience does. Like, I didn't quit Trevor Lawrence until a couple weeks ago, kind of feels like the Jags might have been in the similar boat where they were fully in on thinking Trevor Lawrence at some point is going to turn things around. And, I think maybe they just hitched their wagons a little bit too much to him and didn't try and maybe make his situation easier. Like they didn't go, Travis Etienne obviously is a really great back, but looks like Tank Bigsby might be the better impact back for him. Just doesn't really feel like, not to use it as an excuse for Trevor, but it doesn't feel like they ever really said, okay, let's try and take some pressure off Trevor, and maybe he isn't our savior. Maybe we should try and help him because he's not as good as what we thought he was. But that doesn't have to mean he's the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, a couple guys, to be honest, Chris, and it's probably the Devontae Adams thing. I think the timing didn't work out, especially being in that AFC South. I don't think they would, sell the farm or whatever the Raiders are looking for Devontae Adams. But I remember saying I was surprised that they weren't in on Brandon Ayuk.
Sure,
I mean, Trevor Lawrence just not, most of these guys, the Bengals didn't want to see Joe Burrow without Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow is much better than Trevor Lawrence. So you're running out. So Joe Burrow gets those guys, and you're running out Trevor Lawrence with Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
So your best receiver, arguably, you just got back is Evan Ingram.
Yeah, 100%. He's the only guy he threw it to. He had 10 catches in his first game back.
So I'm just not really sure how you don't, at least see what what that idea might look like, but they don't. And now they're in a situation
Spend a ton
where
of money on Eric Armstead.
Right. And he's just at Publix eating chicken sandwiches.
I saw a Chick-fil-A video the other day.
Don't tell me he
posted it. Yeah.
We might need to get that audio.
What does a D lineman eat at Chick-fil-A?
1 o'clock hour. I need that audio. Nothing.
I
don't know why.
The Jacksonville.
I don't know why it just makes me laugh. Hey guys, you want to know?
Come with me to see what a
this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna guess the order. We gotta try to guess. Oh, you know the order.
Unfortunately,
I'm gonna try to guess the order.
It,
because if I could put down 2, I put down 2 sandwiches.
I won't say anything.
Eric might be.
I won't say anything.
He might be a foe.
Is this on Twitter? Or is this on,
I think it's on Instagram for sure. It's definitely on his Instagram.
I'm not seeing it on his Twitter.
Okay.
I
can't wait.
I know for a fact it's on his
I can't
Instagram.
wait for the 1 o'clock
Is
hour.
it like vlogging? What is he trying to get at?
It's like a TikTok.
sponsored?
It's like
Yeah,
I think it's sponsored. I'm pretty sure it's sponsored by Chick-fil-A, if I had to guess.
Oh, the
Just
Publix
like the Publix
ones
one.
were
Publix one
great.
was your
I
favorite.
can't wait for that coming up. That's in the 1 o'clock
Let
hour.
me read this Doug Peterson quote also real
please.
quick, because this is where things really fall off the edge for our guy Doug Peterson. I was going to go by his never mind. Doug Peterson says that the Jags need a culture change. Well, where does that come from? He said, quote, "We play a 17-game schedule, so we've got a few more games left. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us. We've got to change. I say it's all of us, coaches, players, everybody. Here's the kicker, everybody. Get ready for this." This is a quote from Doug Peterson. Quote, "We got to change right now that culture. Otherwise, it just gets out of control. We're on a slippery slope or right on the cusp of that slope. At some point, we've got to say enough is enough, and you've got to have enough pride to figure out a way." Now, what's the easiest way everyone would say is probably to shift the culture of a locker room? Probably firing the coach and getting a new coach in there. So I don't know if Doug Peterson is sneaky, like asking for a severance package here, if maybe he enjoys London a lot and wants to make it a month-long trip instead of a 2-week trip. But it kind of, I mean, I know he's not doing it, but I think he accidentally just pretty much promoted his own firing.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
We need a culture change culture without
not in a
changing
week.
the coach.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Better not lose to the Patriots this weekend.
This might be the end of, we talk about, hey, how long is your leash based on what you've done? I think he's used up that Super Bowl goodwill pretty good here. Well, if you lose to the Patriots, you're done.
You're done.
You're absolutely Drake May, because then that's another quarterback that would have maybe leapfrogged Trevor Lawrence. Chris, I know
Jags are 5.5-point favorites in that one.
In London again.
London.
And they talked about how comfortable they looked out there. I just don't think that they lose. But Chris, just real quick on Trevor Lawrence, I know it's not the same situation, but I would say this. Would you be willing to say that Trevor Lawrence is more talented than Jared Goff?
I think so. Yeah,
I would say he is.
I think so.
So I would say maybe it's time for the next stop somewhere. I don't, if the Jags are going to stink, maybe they just stink. Let them start over. You get a new coach. maybe the effects of Urban Meyer just kind of bungled the Trevor Lawrence situation, because somebody 916 Trevor Lawrence would have a better career as a Fabio lookalike on the streets of Las Vegas.
Okay.
And I'm not saying
he would be very successful.
And I'm not saying for him to go to the Raiders, but I do think that there is enough talent there that maybe there's just a black cat or a dark cloud like Charlie Brown, and everybody just needs, hey, it's just healthier for everybody to just move on. Just move on from the situation. I just can't see them giving Trevor Lawrence another new coaching staff, number 3, and that working out. I think at that point, you just cut your losses. I think he's got more value than a Bryce Young still. I know he costs more than Bryce Young, but I do think he still has more value. And would I take him in Vegas? Heck yeah, I'd take him in Vegas.
Do you think Trevor Lawrence would be still talked about how he is if he didn't have his hair? I'm starting to think
Allen take.
I'm thinking that if he didn't look like he was like a Friday Night Lights quarterback, if he literally didn't look like he was from a Hollywood set of a quarterback, I wonder if we would give him the same leash, or if we would say he's Brock Osweiler with the first pick in the draft.
That's Allen take, and I don't know how to answer it. Now I know how you feel.
Exactly.
Now I know how you feel, and now I'm going to come up with one just to counter. All right, coming up next, we get back to the hardwood. 916 is worried already, Chris. 916 asking us a question with a red question mark. That means it's serious. I don't even know how you did that on the text line. Good for you. Stiles and Watkins, Kings coming up. Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
The Kings, spoiler alert, probably will not go undefeated. They lose to the Blazers, which was basically a flashback, Chris, to last season. When was it? Skylar Mays.
That's right.
We got him a deal.
Duop Reith.
Yeah, we got him a deal. He's still waiting for Skylar or his family to call in and say thank you.
Do we think Skylar Mays is still on the Blazers? We know.
No. Remember, he went to the. I thought he went to the Lakers.
Okay.
For a hot second, and I don't know what happened to the Lakers. Well, I don't know what happened after that. He's definitely not still on the Lakers.
Let's see here. Timberwolves signed him 4 weeks ago. I don't know that. I would assume that that's just a training camp deal. Who knows if he makes it past that?
How far does a Super Bowl take you, and how far does a great game against
career night in Sacramento get you?
That's exactly right. Also, don't forget, if you were scared from that shooting performance from the Kings yesterday, you can continue to be scared at Fright Fest. Thank you, Fright Fest. Because when the sun goes down, the Kings brick shots, and that scare factor turns up. Unleash your screams with Fright Fest. Only at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. In about 20-ish minutes, we will give away those tickets. And fellas, if you want to go with that special someone, you got to get real close, sweetie. Don't worry. You won't get too scared.
Was Six Flags a poppin' place in the Bay?
That was my guess.
Because I was like, it's very much a destination.
Let's go to
for
Six
here
Flags
in Sacramento.
Then I ended up jumping more than they did. That's what
Oh, really? Yeah, we used to like for the radio stations, like we used to be out there doing remotes and things like that. And they were, yeah, like even though it's for kids, like Fright Fest is
not a
legitimately game. Like a pretty scary experience.
And I'm trying to do the ride. I'd rather do the rides.
That's what I'm
and then
there
they don't
for.
want to do
Yeah,
the roller
it's like
coaster.
on the way to the rides, they like got these exhibits.
They're like, no, let's go in
the
corn maze. I'm like, yeah, we can go. I mean, I'm not tripping. We can
go
go.
and roar.
I'm like, what's that one? Steam Clowns? Oh yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah,
that's my favorite. Fright Fest. Mm-hmm. 10. And don't get too close.
Clowns are real, right?
Don't get too close because I'll swing.
Yeah, I'm shocked that does not happen more often.
Catch a case, you know what I mean? All right.
Popping out of dumpsters.
10 minutes, your chance to catch a case and go to Fright Fest if somebody gets too close. This is what Mike Brown had to say about the L. Getting beat by a young team because of how hard they played and how physical they played was a good learning experience for our team. Chris, I think that's a terrible quote. I'm sorry. I mean, that's not what you want to. That is the least. That is the last thing Kings fans want to hear, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not great. I think the preseason is saving the freak out of it all for sure. Like, I think if this is the fourth or fifth game of the season, I think we are on probably like an 8 or maybe a 9 in terms of the freak out scale. But since it's preseason, I think we can, or when I say we, I kind of be myself, can kind of push it down and justify it and say it's okay. They didn't come out for a preseason game in which, honestly, I mean, how much less motivated can you be? You play the Golden State Warriors 2 straight times. You have a nice little home and road, and then you come home on a Sunday at 3:00 to play one of the worst teams in the NBA. You probably go out there and expect, oh yeah, this is going to feel like we take the ankle weights off. And I think instead they kind of did get hit with the harsh reality that all these guys are NBA players and they're all NBA teams. And maybe especially even in the preseason, like if you're not going to bring the attention to detail, the other team might be able to capitalize it. Even a team as appearingly harmless as the Blazers, they can take advantage of you on any given night. And I think it is just unfortunately, and again, I'm only saying this because it is preseason, but I think it's just a learning lesson that you do have to take and hopefully you learn from. Hopefully that's the problem is the Kings, they had all of these learning lessons last year. They just didn't learn anything from it. They had opportunities to learn, but they didn't actually take the lesson from it. Hopefully, that's all we can say right now is hopefully they actually, take this one to heart and don't let it happen come regular season time. But I can at least understand why they came out flat. Doesn't make it better, but especially in the third preseason game, you would think that they would still have a little bit of juice left.
They were 18% from 3-point range yesterday, 5 for 27 over the last 3 games, or should I say the first 3 games of the preseason. They are 25 out of 100, good for 25%. That is not good at all. And as they continue that, Mike Brown had this to say about the numbers. I truly think we'll be a better three-point shooting team than that. Offensively, I think we're going to have the chance to be pretty good. Well, I'd hope so.
I hope so.
I really would hope so. From the 916, Chris Allen, are we afraid the Kings suck? Thought the trade would make us better. Certainly not worse. That is from the 916. Yeah, I don't think they're going to stink. 916. I think it was a rough game. I mean, I think that it helped us to get rid of some of the purple fade on our glasses a little bit and say, okay, this team is not going to be perfect. And if they don't play their best, this is still the Western Conference and you can drop games that you shouldn't. I think that's the main thing. The issue with last season was losing games that you were not supposed to lose. Getting DeMar DeRozan, we felt like that shouldn't happen anymore or shouldn't happen at the same clip. And if it does happen at the same clip, that will be a problem.
Yep.
That's it. Yep. And you're not going to be a top 4 seed. You will be staring at the play-in again if you lose to teams like the Blazers, if you lose to teams like the Hornets. If you lose games you're not supposed to lose, I think there is a fairly even distribution of the tough games and the harder games and the easier games. But if you blow the games you're supposed to win, then we said, oh my gosh, what did the NBA do to the Kings? Look at their ending stretch. Well, that's because you blew the games that you were supposed to win. So you got to take care of business there, and then you're not looking like that. You have to build a little bit up first. That's what the Kings were unable to do last season. Continuing the conversation a little bit later as we talk Kings, it is time to head to the NFL graveyard. And which NFL teams are we burying for the season? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
The garage won't open again.
We're all out of coffee.
Life has enough surprises. Your car shouldn't be one of them. Stockton Honda keeps your car worry-free. From routine maintenance to that something's not right moment, our certified Honda experts know how to fix it right the first time.
Here you go, ma'am. You're all set.
Thank you.
Stockton Honda Service Department, keeping you ready for the road ahead.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
True fans of the game should pick up a copy of The Match, the day the game of golf changed forever, written by Mark Frost, who also wrote The Greatest Game Ever Played. The book was published more than 10 years ago, but it tells the true story of a remarkable round of golf played by legendary professionals Ben Hogan and Byron Nelson against two of the sport's greatest amateurs, Ken Venturi and Harvey Ward. Hogan, who avoided playing with amateurs at all costs, was hoodwinked into playing by Eddie Lowry, Francis Ouimet's diminutive caddy, who at that point was a successful San Francisco businessman. The match, with its many wagers, was set to be played at Cypress Point Club, and although the exciting 18 holes unfold with each turn of a page, it's the backstory of each of the players that makes the words come alive. My friend Ken Venturi, the last survivor of that foursome, told me it was a dream match, and so good even fiction couldn't touch it. It's a fabulous read. For Golf to Go, I'm Frank LaRosa.
It's homecoming for Sacramento State football this Saturday, 6 p.m. versus Weber State. Stay for the post-game fireworks. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Caller number 3.
Whoa, is that a ghost? You can hear
that
like
was a real ghost.
Spooky.
Spooky.
916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Caller 1 just got it. Caller 2 just got it. Caller 3 just made it to hold.
Wow.
That special someone.
That was a quick one.
Real tight. I'm trying to remember, dude, the rides are still going on during Fright
Yeah,
Fest,
they
right?
still go on. Yeah. Again, like you have to, in order to get like the rule, I think it's called the Superman now, is like on the other end. Like if in order to go from Medusa to the Superman ride, you have to go through the Fright Fest portion of it. Like it's pretty unavoidable.
There you
I
go.
think you can avoid it for those with small children, but for the most part, it's pretty unavoidable.
You'll have more chances throughout the day, or excuse me, throughout the week to win those tickets as we get into Chris. And I don't know if we want to wait for Nate to finish so we can properly get into the NFL graveyard because he's chopping it up right now.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we can hold off a little bit on it, but I'm excited. I'm excited to bury these teams. Frankly, I've been thinking about which teams we should circle and which teams maybe we gave a little bit initial bad look to. That maybe I think we added a rule that I think once a year, all of us, each person gets one revive. If maybe we were too early, if maybe whatever, maybe just it's not a full consensus. We have one revive if we want to bring back any of our formerly buried teams. And so far right now, we have four buried teams. We can, again, if we really feel passionately about it, we could revive one of them. There's one that I'm thinking about, actually two that I'm thinking about, but it might just be to bury them later. So we'll see. Our teams that are currently buried: the Panthers, the Giants, the Titans, and the Dolphins. We buried those guys a couple weeks ago.
Hey, real quick, because I know we don't want to rush this. So
No,
it might get moved to the other side because Nate's asking this person, where they grew up and what they do for a living.
Right.
The one piece of the Kings bad shooting thing, the one piece that made me think about right now, the Kings are light when it comes to wings and they can't shoot. So it made me rethink about Kevin Huerter and how much he may be needed on this team. Obviously, you're going to get Trey Lyles back as well, who is a wing and can even play the small man center and can shoot the 3-ball. But maybe, as we talked about possible blind spots within this Kings team, maybe one of those blind spots could have been how important Kevin Huerter may be to this team when they do get cold from three. I mean, Chris, if you look around the team, honestly, from a 3-point shooting perspective and the snipers that they have, you have Keegan, I think I would put Malik in that conversation, but he's not as traditional of a shooter as the others. I'm talking about 3-point shooting. And then at that point, you're already bringing up Kevin Huerter again. Right. And if you're going to take as many threes as the Kings are going to take, I can't see how Kevin Huerter isn't a part of this conversation. Obviously, we'll bring up Keon as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But yeah, it does. I mean, Keon any of these guys could go cold, any of these guys could get hot. But I do feel like the lack of 3-point shooting made me wonder, maybe we were kind of selling Kevin Huerter short as far from the 3-point perspective. Now he's got to hit him, which he didn't really do last season. But if there's shooting that you need and you lose a Sasha, who obviously, Sasha didn't really work out, but I just had me thinking about Kevin Huerter over the weekend.
Well, yeah, I still think there's plenty of shooting, though. You didn't mention Jordan McLaughlin. He shot 47% from three last year. Like, Trey's a really good shooter. De'Aaron shot his highest 3-point percentage of his career last year. And he's looked, the team hasn't shot well from three, but De'Aaron these past couple games has looked really good from three, especially on Friday in San Francisco. He knocked down, I think, 3 in a row at one point. I still think there's enough shooting. I just think they're not hitting it right now. The concerning thing to me isn't even really the make percentage definitely is concerning, but to me, the more concerning element of it is the shot attempts. They just aren't really even taking the threes, which I think is just from an inefficiency standpoint, from a points per possession standpoint, it's just not really ideal. You know, I think Monty is obviously from the Rockets school of thinking with layups or threes, and I think it's not quite as intense here in Sacramento, but it is a bit concerning when you go from 27 threes to 46 and then back to 27. I just kind of feel like it was an overcorrection in that Warrior game on Friday, and then it feels like kind of their more natural, hey, if we're just playing in the flow of the game, which is what he said in the first preseason game, maybe they really are just kind of naturally taking around 33s, but if you're making the initiative to, hey, we are trying to take threes, that's maybe where you start to get some less than great attempts and just kind of maybe for the sake of putting it up. But I think there still is enough shooting on the roster to where it shouldn't be, hey, we have to put Kevin Huerter, we have to lean on his three specifically. I feel like there's enough shooting to go around.
Coming up next, we get into the NFL graveyard. Which teams are officially buried for this season? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike with the left hand. The Kings lead by 3.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-881-4242, 800-881-4242.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? 'Cause I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
DC here, and if you've been thinking about a new car, you gotta see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia. You can always count on low payments and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years, right here in Folsom.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Congrats to our winner. Looks like, Nate, it was Ward from the Sack Chat.
Yes, it was. We had a nice conversation, too. We're going to see him at some Kings games this year. Oh, you guys saw me on the phone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's it's cool when someone in our YouTube chat wins.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
There you go. Well, you'll have more chances to win.
Congrats, Ward.
Throughout the week. Congrats, Ward. Have fun. Might be a little scary. It'll be okay.
Actually, you can guarantee it'll be at least a little scary.
Did you guys talk about the rides at all? Like, is Ward excited for a specific ride? Or
no, he also asked why I wasn't here, and I was just chatting with him, and then we started talking about Kings games, and
great time for it.
Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into the, I love this beat, but things are going to take a turn as we get into the NFL graveyard. Chris, real quick, Chris, Adam Schefter, Colts head coach Shane Steichen told reporters that Anthony Richardson will play Sunday if he does not suffer any setbacks from his oblique injury.
Yeah, I mean, I that's my guy.
I know.
I was monitoring that situation very closely because I do, as he is my guy, I had to take him in like 3 fantasy leagues and wasn't the right decision. But I've been monitoring that situation pretty closely, and it was about good thing I set my alarm for 9:45 on Sunday because I was very surprised to learn when I woke up. Yeah, Anthony Richardson's actually not playing. It's going to be Joe Flacco again. And they pretty much said the same thing going into last week, too. If there's no setbacks, then he'll play. There's clearly a setback that happened either on Sunday or maybe in the practice leading into it. But we'll see. We'll see, man, because it does feel like, especially with the Colts getting the win, they've just looked so much better with Joe Flacco under center than Anthony Richardson. And that's, again, coming from an Anthony Richardson guy. I kind of feel like Joe Flacco should be the starter moving forward.
Yeah.
It's so weird, though, because it kind of goes against everything I believe in. And if you have a young quarterback who probably more than anything needs reps, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of tough to not put him out there, especially when the Colts aren't playing. I mean, maybe they do feel like they could play for a playoff spot this year. Joe Flacco did lead the Browns to the playoffs last year, but I just don't really know exactly what the goal for the Colts is, because if it is long-term success, obviously it's probably a little bit better to get Anthony Richardson through some of this rawness to hopefully get him more prepared for the future. But if you do want to build a culture and you are, football, nothing is guaranteed. If you want to try and capitalize on what seems to be potentially at least a winning team or a team that can go 500 or a little above it, it's kind of tough to go away from Joe Flacco at this point. Dude's won a Super Bowl. He's incredibly experienced. I don't know. It's kind of a mess of a situation a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of the worst problem to have.
Well, and I know it was different last season because it was injury, but now you have a situation where Gardner Minshew made the team look pretty good, and now Joe Flacco is making the team look pretty good. And, we
like if the Panthers went back to Bryce Young almost.
Right.
Just for the sake of, hey, he's a young quarterback. He doesn't look good as the guy that we could put in, but it's about developing him.
You have to. Now you need to develop his arm and stop running him.
Sure.
Right? How about that? But if you can't control yourself and if you feel like you're going to continue to run this guy, as he's barely getting cleared for this Sunday, then you need to look yourself in the mirror and figure out just who that is. Because, he is the exact opposite of a Jaden Daniels. And Jaden Daniels, he's just the elusivity that he has, knows how to slide, knows how to get out the way. Anthony Richardson, and maybe that comes, it's funny, Chris, and then we'll get into the graveyard. It's funny because there are guys, when you have a certain skill set or when you don't have a certain skill set, it prevents you from doing things you shouldn't do. Right now, guys in baseball that typically don't have as strong arms tend to be more accurate. Why is that? Because they know they can't just airmail it all over the place, right? Jaden Daniels and some of these smaller not Bryce Young, some of these smaller quarterbacks are better at avoiding getting hit because they know if I get hit, I might not get up. Anthony Richardson has never had that problem. Most of the time, he's been the biggest dude on the field. And now he gets to the NFL and he has to learn how to avoid those situations. And not just him, I think the Colts have to learn how to avoid it too. Okay, let's get into the NFL graveyard. Chris
Do
Watkins.
it. So like we said, go ahead.
I just want to ask you guys, what's up with this revive thing in the graveyard?
Yeah, I
missed
figured,
that.
I figured, mistakes can happen sometimes. Sometimes you can be a little premature, and it's just the option. It's just the option of if we want to, revive a team, we can do so. Maybe if we feel like, we were overly emotional one week, and I know it kind of goes against the whole concept of burying a team, but I feel like everybody gets a mulligan.
Sure.
Everybody gets a breakfast bowl. And more so, I think maybe we can set a limit. We'll set a time. Maybe it'll be the NFL trade block or the trade deadline can be where it's like, okay, no more revives. If they are dead, they are dead. If there's anyone you want to revive at this point, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Sure.
The trade deadline.
Capital.
I see what you did there.
Capital
I see what you did
it's
there.
that time
That's
of
actually
year.
not bad. I didn't like it at first, but it sat with me.
For about a second and a half.
That was a good one. That's a good one. Like I said, our dead team so far, our buried team so far. Panthers, they're 1-5. Giants, 2-4.
If they pulled it out last night,
that's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one that I had to think about. Titans, 1-4. Stay sleep. Literally, like actually, you can stay buried.
Mayo Man has the second worst QBR in the league.
Here's another one we might need to reconsider: the Dolphins. They're talking about Tua maybe coming back, and they're 2-3 right now. Doesn't look great, but if Tua comes back in 2 weeks, maybe just maybe they were on a bye this week. Maybe just maybe they can still turn their season around again. We can always bury them again, but it just might have been a premature burial.
You know what's interesting though is I would say that that's kind of based upon what happens tonight. I think that if the Jets beat the Bills, then maybe that AFC East is just a mess. If the Bills beat the Jets, then it's just tough sledding for the Dolphins to sneak in there.
It's a good point. It's a really good point. Those are and we can decide on revival maybe at the end of the segment, or maybe we can pull it up at the end of the week or next week even. On the chopping block right now, it's all the 1-win teams. It feels obvious. We haven't done it in a couple weeks. Let these guys kind of get some room to figure each other out. I think the Jaguars, we did it on a Monday, and they had a game on Monday, so we didn't want to officially chop them. But on the chopping block this week, they cannot avoid it. They're dead. It's the Jaguars at 1-5, Patriots at 1-5, Cleveland Browns at 1-5, and the Los Angeles Rams all at 1-5. We might have to throw in some of these 2-win teams. You got the Jets, got the Raiders, the Bengals, perhaps, maybe, Cardinals, and we already have the Dolphins and Giants in there as 2-win teams. So it's not unheard of. We can skip past some of these 1-win teams and have a couple 2-win teams in there still. But let's get to it. Let's start whipping out the shovels. Let's bury some folk. Come on, Cowherd style.
Jags are done. They're dead.
Yeah.
They're buried.
I think that's...
Even if they win this week in London against the Patriots, go 2-5, and I don't know. I'm trying to make the case.
Who's their 1 win?
Their 1 win is the Colts with Joe Flacco last week.
2 wins in the division if they win this week.
2 wins in the division, I guess. But
I think
the Texans are so far ahead. And for everyone who hasn't heard the segment, it's got to be group consensus. If anybody detracts from it, we will not bury them. Let's see here. The next month, they have the Patriots, Packers, Eagles, and Vikings.
Okay, you could probably bury.
We can leave them.
I'll leave them, but I don't. I'm fine with burying them, too.
I think if we're not going to bury the Jaguars, I don't know who exactly we're going to bury.
The Patriots.
The Patriots for sure.
I think it's time. I don't want to do the Rams.
Yeah. I was going to say no to the Rams.
Let's not jump the gun here, people. One at a time.
Okay. Well, Patriots, I'm fine with. I'm actually.
So Jaguars are still living.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Jaguars are above
I don't like it.
ground.
They're not going to do anything, but.
Well, Patriots then. Anybody speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm holding a eulogy tomorrow.
Their only win was week 1 against the Bengals. It was quite a surprise. Since then, they've lost to the Seahawks, the Jets, the Niners, the Dolphins, the bad Dolphins. And on Sunday, lost by 20 to the Texans in Drake May's debut. Coming up for the next month, a little bit of a lighter schedule for the Patriots. Is it going to matter? Probably not. They play at home against the Jaguars and against the Jets, and then go on the road at Titans, at Bears.
Drake May had one of the best throws all weekend.
Yeah, that touchdown pass was great.
Really good. I think
he can run.
You just let him play, and you just lose, and you let the other Mayo man, their coach, just ride it out for a bit, and see what happens. Give him a little leeway. It's tough to replace Belichick. I think they're done though this season.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
I agree. I think this is an absolute wrap. They probably would have been the first team I would have killed off, but I think it's officially time to bury the Patriots. Sorry, this is not your mom and dad's or even your New England Patriots anymore. They are officially in the Gerard Mayo era here. And
they're Gen Alpha's Patriots.
Yes, exactly.
Give them a couple.
Or back to the old Patriots, I guess. Let's move on to the 1-5 Cleveland Browns. Whatever the opposite of America's team is, I think that's what the Browns are. I don't think there's a single person rooting for the Browns. I don't think there's a single person hoping that they turn things around. I don't know what they're doing with Deshaun Watson. Kevin Stefanski has already came out today and said that they're going to continue to go with Deshaun Watson. Their only win of the season was against the one-win Jaguars. They won by 5, 18-13. Let's see here. They have only scored – oh, my goodness. They haven't scored over 20 this season. So they've done what I said the Raiders wouldn't do. They scored 17 in a loss week 1 against the Cowboys. In their win, they scored 18. They only scored 15 against the Jets, 16 to the Raiders, 13 to the Commanders, 16 on Sunday to the Eagles. The next month, they play Bengals, Ravens, Chargers, Saints. Ugh.
They're done.
Bye, Browns.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
It's
I don't
over.
think there's a single person who wants to see the Browns have success, unless Jameis Winston comes in. Then I'm just rooting for fun. Love me some Jameis, but I think, I think we can officially say the Browns aren't doing anything.
He is the polar opposite of Deshaun Watson. Just a good time.
Yeah.
Jameis, you're saying?
Yeah. Every time Deshaun's on my screen, I just get in a bad mood.
Yeah.
It's just bad football,
bad
vibes. Just go away.
Also kind of feels like Kevin Stefanski's being held hostage. I really don't think he wants to play Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, well, look at that price tag.
Yeah, what can you do?
You can bench him, but,
Embrace the tank.
Embrace the tank.
Well, that's what they're doing.
There's no way Shador going out there. Prime won't let Shador go out there.
That would be so interesting.
There's no way.
Just add him to the QB room.
You think he'll pull
Jameis, Deshaun, and Shador. Shador is just performing while they're losing halftime
like
shows.
The worst reality TV show you could come up with.
All right,
man.
My goodness.
Yeah, the
last one-win team here, the Los Angeles Rams.
Keep them alive.
Yeah,
How crazy is it? The Rams' only win this season is against the Niners.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
And the Patriots is against the Bengals too, which is kind of like, I know the Bengals aren't great.
They do have a lighter month ahead of them. The Rams coming off the bye, they play the Raiders. They then play the Vikings on Thursday, and then they will play at Seattle and then verse Miami, and then just to throw it in, they then play the Patriots the week after that. So the Rams do, to you guys' point, have a little bit of an opportunity for some bounce back. I think they're hoping Cooper Kupp can play this week. I haven't heard much on the Puka Nacua front. But, I think I'm okay with the Rams still being alive, even though it has not looked good for them, even when they were healthy.
Yeah, we'll leave them alive for now. And then the 2-win teams, Jets, Raiders, Bengals, Cardinals, I think they all.
Which one if you had to pick?
Raiders.
Yeah.
To me, it's the Raiders.
No,
the Raiders to me have the
Raiders.
least amount of hope of all those guys.
No.
Well, it's not the Cardinals.
It's not.
And I
the
definitely
Bengals.
can't say the Bengals.
I don't think it's the Jets. The Jets are too talented.
It's probably the
To be
Raiders
the
by
one.
default, but
Aaron
I will not
Rodgers
say that.
is playing bad football.
Watch them win tonight.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Watch them.
They can be
Sure.
3-3, right back in it.
So you're
Feeling
arguing
hopeful.
So you are saying the Raiders then. Watch them win tonight.
I'm not going to say that. Coming up next, great job, Chris. Get the shovels out. We put the shovels away. We head back to the hardwood. You know what time it is around this time of year? It's anonymous source time. Everybody loves a good anonymous source around the NBA when we return. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
Got a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line.
He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at the AEWay.com for an instant quote. That's the AEWay.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now. Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. You can go farther and save on full synthetic with our oil change special. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life oil filter for just $35.99. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
For 76 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and, well, many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 76th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
very confusing what the Dodgers, it was not the Dodgers' decision, but what Major League Baseball, what their plan is. We've got on them before. We're about to get into around the NBA, and trust me, this is very good around the NBA. But yeah, Chris just put on the pregame show for Dodgers Mets. And if you're asking, well, why is there a pregame show at 12 o'clock? That's because the game's at 1.
Mm-hmm.
And
but it's in New York, right?
You know what this is, Chris?
East Coast time?
No, it's in LA. You know what I'm thinking, Chris? I'm thinking out loud here, like Ed Sheeran. Is this because of Monday Night Football?
Cool.
Is that what this is?
That's a decent call. What is the game? It's Jets,
But
Bills.
what about a split? Give us a split screen. You're sacrificing.
It might be.
But even why couldn't just do 3? At least 3 is 6 o'clock Eastern. 1 o'clock.
Yeah, the 1 is crazy. 1 makes no sense for anybody because it's not.
You're not off work
in New York anyway.
That's 3 teams in New York too, all playing tonight. Buffalo. Yeah. I mean, that's
right.
So I think you're right.
But they don't. But then if that's the case, because the Yankee game's on at 4:30, so they're not getting out of the way. Like they still have to make a choice. It's not like it would have made more sense if you're saying, okay, yeah, let's move the Yankee Guardian game to 1 o'clock so that all of New York can tune in to Buffalo versus New Jersey. But yeah, no, I mean it feels like they're just doing a baseball thing and making it completely nonsensical. I mean, this is the championship series.
Yeah,
this is not the wild card or anything like that.
That's-
We are talking about if you win these games, the Dodgers can put themselves in pole position to get to the World Series by 3 o'clock today.
It's the state of MLB, I think. I think that's just what this is telling
maybe
you, right?
this used to that point, maybe a little bit, like maybe it used to not matter. Like it was, hey, it doesn't matter what time we put it at. It's appointment television. We dictate when it is that it's going to be important to watch. But I think maybe as the counter to that is you don't have the same sharehold of the sports viewing audience like you used to. And it feels like something like this, you have New York versus LA, stealing Alan Stiles' quote, like you're hustling backwards. You definitely are. This is not beneficial for baseball in any way to have people potentially at work or kids in school to not be able to watch the game is frankly criminal. I mean, this is crazy. This is a championship series.
This makes no
They're
sense
playing at 1 o'clock.
I got a question for you guys too. Just last MLB thing. How bad does the MLB want Yankees Dodgers in the?
I think they'll deal with the Subway Series.
I think they're good either way.
They want
now.
Yankees.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I'll
they're
tell
safe
you. They
now.
want Yankees.
Yeah,
that's 100%.
They're in the clear now.
You're right.
As long as the
way.
Yankees win.
Yeah,
I think it's close because of Shohei, but I think Subway Series. It's
Subway
really
Series.
close.
I mean,
people
Shohei
going, but-
Judge is crazy.
Yeah. You want to talk about marquees?
Yeah. No. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's really close.
Those are the names though. Like I'm so casual.
And that's touching each coast and everything in between. You potentially get a Subway Series. I'm going to tune. The Subway Series intrigues me a lot, but there's a potential that maybe it's like, maybe especially by like game 3, people go, the New York East Coast bias is just
probably
ridiculous.
It's
and
Dodgers Yankees.
Yeah, I think Dodgers Yankees
but it's very
gets
close.
everybody going.
And it's Dodgers Yankees because of Shohei.
Because of Shohei.
If this is the team last year, then it's Yankees.
It's the emotional reaction out of both, like the hatred or the love. It's it's definitely no in between if you care about baseball.
Well,
right?
I guess, the other thing too, I mean, I know they're not the squirrely Mets because of their payroll, but they're still kind of looked at like the little brother. Yankees, Dodgers, nobody really wants either team to win.
That's Lex Luthor against the Joker.
Right.
Yeah. Which it might honestly be good though, because again, it's like everybody hates one of those teams. And so you're going to get passion on both sides, regardless of, regardless of outcome. You're going to get people saying, I hate the Dodgers so much. I really don't like the Yankees, but I hate the Dodgers so much. I'm going to root for the Yankees. And then you definitely have obviously a large portion of people who the last thing they want to see is the Yankees win another one and might swallow their pride a bit and not have any issue with the Dodgers, or maybe they are just rooting for Shohei. So to me, that's the best outcome. But again, I think Subway Series definitely would do what baseball wants it to do.
Yeah. It's a great situation to be in.
Just not the Guardians. That's all we know.
If the Guardians win, it's cooked.
It's cooked.
And
it's
the way
over.
things have been going for baseball, I don't want to jinx it because I know Frankie and Jason Ross are listening, but they've had some bad luck lately. They've had some.
Look, Manfred's already hated. He needs a David Stern this thing, to be honest with you. He needs to start controlling some outcomes because you have a golden opportunity right in front of you. You have to capitalize on it, and you got to get. I don't want to see the Dodgers win, but you got to get them in the World Series, and you got to get that Yankees-Dodgers, in my opinion.
All right,
do whatever you can.
It's time. Let's go around the NBA. Chris, you know I love a good anonymous source.
Oh, yeah.
And we have multiple here.
Got 2 of them.
And they, they're not going to tell you who they are, but they want to be known. This is the first anonymous source. An anonymous NBA executive says the Phoenix Suns are the best team in the West. Here's a quote. The team to beat in the West is Phoenix, believe it or not. I think their top-end talent is just ready to make a move. KD and Book are really, really good. They had an outlier year last year, I guess the year before, with trying to get everything working together. I think Budenholzer and Tyus Jones are great additions. I think they will figure out a way to use some draft compensation and Nurkic contract to get even better. I think the team that emerges from the West in Phoenix is in Phoenix. I believe in Kevin. I believe in Booker. I believe in Budenholzer. Denver, Dallas, Oklahoma City are options, but I think the 1-2 punch in Phoenix is better than the 1-2 punch anywhere else. This is what they've been saying with this team. You got to get Bradley Beal healthy as well. I mean, I can see it, Chris, but also, is this it for Kevin? I mean, is this it for Kevin Durant playing at a high level? 36 with a lot of miles on him. The only reason I might agree with what they're saying is because it has to happen now if it's going to happen, or Devin Booker is going to have to take another leap. So it wouldn't surprise me. Do I believe it? No, I think they have they still have a pretty thin bench, but I'm a huge Tyus Jones guy, and they're going to be better. I don't know if they're going to be the team to beat.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people maybe thinking that it's going to be a Timberwolves situation where the first year you're in it doesn't quite look how you hoped it would, and then the second year is really where you make the leap that you were hoping to make. I could see it. They're crazy talented. They have maybe the 2 best underrated point guards in the NBA with Tyus Jones and Monty Morris. They're built a lot better than they were last year. It's just a matter of if they can stay healthy. That was the problem last year. When they were healthy, they were honestly on track to be a 1 seed. The problem was Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker barely played enough games together. Let's see here. Yeah, they went 26-15 when Booker, Durant, and Bradley Beal played. That's just not enough of those 3 together. They have to get those guys healthy, and that's how they can be a 1 seed. I mean, they're crazy talented, but we'll see how much. Maybe this is where I'm going to be excited for this postseason. Is the USA basketball, will the Olympics play a factor in this NBA playoffs? I think so. You have 2 Team USA members on that Suns team. I think by the end of the year, they're going to lose some steam.
Next, and this one is for Nate. Jared McCain is reportedly turning heads at the Sixers training camp. This is from Tony Jones.
Turning heads away from his TikTok.
The rookie, here's the quote, the rookie out of Duke has been the talk of training camp in the preseason so far. Multiple teams and team sources indicate McCain has played extremely well in camp, especially on offense. He's played without fear, and most importantly, with patience. He's a highly skilled guard who has a chance to be impactful at all 3 levels and can play both spots in the backcourt. Chris, I know a lot of people thought that he'd be connected to the Kings because he's from Sacramento or was born in Sacramento. He then does not get drafted by the Kings, but the Kings do take a guard. Will the Kings regret this?
Maybe just in the case of maybe Jared McCain is truly the best guard in the draft. He can be a scorer. Maybe he is a little bit lesser version of a Tyrese Maxey, and so maybe he's just a better player than Devin Carter is. But I don't think it's going to be like a Marvin Bagley, Luka Doncic level regret. I just feel like maybe Jared McCain might be the best shooter, best scorer of this draft class. And yeah, I mean, obviously, if you miss out on that, that's going to be disappointing, but I don't think it's going to be solely because Devin Carter doesn't perform. I think it might just be, hey, Jared McCain performs so well, but I still am going to wait and see with him. I think he's kind of a little bit of a tweener in a 1 or 2 guard thing, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes next to Tyrese Maxey.
We finished going around the NBA. When we return, Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
There are so many things I love about fall weather. The crisp air, the changing leaves, it's all so magical. Until my kids catch a chill outside. That's where Kohl's comes in, with cozy layers, warm jeans, and more. I found all the styles my kids need when the seasons change. Plus, I got 20% off with a coupon and earned Kohl's Cash. So here's my style forecast. Prep better for fall weather at Kohl's. Select styles. Offers end October 20th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
At the UPS store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS store. Be unstoppable.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Chris was very confused during the break trying to figure out TikTok.
I don't get it.
And it's not something you just figure out. It's something you just feel.
I just don't understand the
It's
youth.
it's very promotional.
It very much is. That's what it feels like. But Jared McCain did legitimately, I just counted it, 5 TikToks to the same song.
That's right.
And I'm pretty sure he does the same dance in all of the songs.
What are the views on them?
1.1 mil, 2.3 mil, 2.9 mil, 2 mil. And he snuck in a Amazon ad, which has 3.2 million views.
I'll take Eric Armstead at Shake Shack or Chick-fil-A any day over that.
At least
He ain't getting these views, I'll tell you that right now.
No, I don't know.
He has
What's up, guys?
3.7 million followers on TikTok.
Because it cooks.
His aura, I could feel it.
I will again continue to say this man is a better TikToker than a basketball player.
Yes, he
and it's
is.
not an insult.
Yes,
it's not an insult.
We don't know that
It's
yet.
really not an insult. I promise you, it's a compliment to how dedicated this man is to the craft of TikToks. It's crazy. The only reason I checked was because I was like, what's the odds that he got drafted and then maybe they were like, hey, like, we're not saying stop or delete your account, but like, maybe just lock in till the start of the season, and it does not appear that way at all. I see a picture of him at the draft, and there's about, I don't know, maybe 30 to 40 TikToks after that. So, again, he is not slowing down at all. This man knows what he's doing. He knows what he likes. And, I can't knock the hustle. I just don't get it.
I'll knock it.
I love it.
It's fine. I just really don't understand.
Speaking of,
from what I understand, Devin Carter's got a TikTok as well that he's not active on. He like Devin
So be
Carter's.
careful.
I will say Devin Carter is
be careful.
also dancing on TikTok for sure. So
Yeah.
if you got a problem with these youth out here flexing on the talk. Well,
that's where they
so
get.
It's not just Jared McCain.
Whenever you see a football celebration that you don't truly understand, check TikTok.
Check TikTok.
Huh.
That's probably
That'll
where
be
it's
an
from.
answer, Yeah.
I so first Mason Jones and now Devin Carter, huh? That's what you're trying to put me on? That you're trying to set me up with a-
I'm just saying
the Mason Jones thing was on you.
I think
Yeah.
Jared
I'm just
McCain
happy
is
you
your
did
number
the
one.
interview with us. All right, continuing around the
Tails
NBA.
on one of them.
Technical difficulties. Around the NBA,
Let's do
Dante DiVincenzo.
Oh, boy.
And this drama that happened, Dante DiVincenzo faced off. And by the way, Julius Randle will be back for the
I saw that.
Timberwolves next game. So we're really paying attention to what that's going to look like. But Dante, he played over the weekend against his Villanova buddies. And it was all cool until it wasn't. As Dante DiVincenzo gets to the free throw line and he is asked about what was said. As he's at the free throw line, he's talking to Tibbs, saying, I can't finish, right, Tibbs? DiVincenzo said, according to the broadcast of the game. Then when he was asked about it, he said, I was talking to Tibbs. I didn't say anything about the trade, and that was it, he said. He could also be heard yelling, that's what happens when they let you run the show, while at the free throw line, which we think was directed at Jalen Brunson's dad, who is a coach on the Knicks, and basically hopped in. From the video that I saw, Chris, Dante was talking to Tibbs, and Jalen Brunson's daddy hopped in. And then once he hopped in, I think that's where things got a little bit dicey. DiVincenzo, after the game, said, obviously they have me on video saying it, and I'm not there anymore. I play, I'm competitive, I wear my heart on the sleeve, and that's all it was. He did not comment further about the incident, but DiVincenzo appeared to be yelling at Rick Brunson, a Knicks assistant coach and father of Knicks star Jalen Brunson. DiVincenzo went on to say, my relationship with Jalen, that's my brother, my best friend. That's a separate relationship, DiVincenzo said when asked about Brunson. I said I'll talk
like his dad.
I said I'll talk about that privately and figure that out. I love this type of stuff, Chris. I love this type of stuff. Last thing I'll say from what DiVincenzo had to say about the Knicks, my love for the Knicks is through the roof. I've said it. It was one of the best years of my life playing here last year, DiVincenzo said before the game. It's something you dream about doing. I didn't plan to get traded. I didn't sign here thinking I'm signing a 4-year deal. I hope I get traded a year in. So that's part of it. You always got to separate the business aspect with the fans. I think the fans will always have a special place in my heart. I love stuff like this. You know I do. I don't think there's a Timberwolves-Knicks battle brewing or a new rivalry at all, but I'll be watching the next time they play.
For sure.
I love the chippiness from Dante. They moved him. You had Brunson take a pay cut to kick it with his buddies, and then they trade his buddies. So I like it. I don't know what Rick Brunson was saying to Dante DiVincenzo, but, I know I just said this about Sirianni, but Rick, stay out of the kid's business, okay? He's talking to Tibbs. Why are you hopping in the conversation?
Yeah,
unless there is something that's been going on, because Brunson's standing there in the middle of the scrum just trying to figure out what is happening. So I love it, but Rick Brunson, sit down somewhere.
Yeah, probably just let the kids deal with it. And I mean, yeah, unless he directly sent a shot at Jalen, and even if he did, you should understand that they're friends. There's really no excuse. I get that maybe he felt like he was talking towards Rick, like you said. Maybe it wasn't towards Tibbs. Maybe it was a shot at Rick for quote unquote running the show. But it definitely adds a rivalry that I don't think anybody was looking out for before. I think now Timberwolves Knicks does kind of take the mantle of the Bucks Pacers rivalry that we saw last year, right? There was some bad blood. Dame got mad at Tyrese for doing the Dame time clock or watch thing. And it was one of the best rivalries of last season, but there's not really enough bad blood to have it be a rivalry that's going to stick around. This feels like, again, a rivalry that'll be for a season, and at least there's a reason for it.
Real quick, Chris, around the NBA, Steve Kerr announced that Warriors guard Brandon Pajemski suffered a broken nose last night's game, and he got hit in the face against the
He did, yeah. I think
Kings.
Keegan hit him.
He won't play in Tuesday's preseason matchup against the Lakers, but Kerr indicated that he will be fine. Thank goodness.
Seems like he might have lost that starting spot. I think DeAnthony Melton.
I think so too. I think so too. Last but not least, Chris, Joel Embiid does not plan to play in back-to-backs for the rest of his career. If I had to guess, I would probably never play back-to-backs for the rest of my career. It's funny when you have the basically them saying what the quote is, and then it's literally what he said. Fair foul, Joel Embiid saying, I'm not playing, as he's wearing his Skechers hoodie. I'm not playing any more back-to-backs. Fair foul.
Very foul. I mean, you're a basketball player. You're supposed to play games. I counted it out. That means Joel Embiid's already going to miss 16 games next season.
And you know what? I think this all changed for him, Chris, which was after he got that MVP. He was the bridesmaid to Jokic's bride time and time again. He finally got it. Then once he got it, he just decided, then I don't care about getting another one. Yeah. Everybody can say, well, if he was healthy, blah, 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 blah. look, I think it's fair in that he's just focused on getting a ring. But if you are a Philly fan or, whether you live in Philly or on the road, yeah, I could see it being considered foul. You get paid a lot of money. I get you're trying to chase a championship, but, that's the thing, Chris. If you're just, we're going to put this in place so you guys can't win. Joel Embiid is just saying, I got enough money. There's not really anything you can do to, harm to affect me, and I'm just going to play when I want to play. I mean, he has been very unhealthy when it matters most. So I get it, but I understand why fans would say that's garbage.
I think the problem is that it doesn't guarantee anything. Like, the hope is, hey, we're not going to play him on back-to-backs because we want him to be available for postseason, but it hasn't really mattered if he plays or if he doesn't. He just hasn't been available. Last season, he played 39 games. And even that wasn't good enough. I mean, he played 66 the year before that. He's played 51 in back-to-back seasons in 19-20 and 21-20. It just feels like he's not a lost cause, but it's almost like Kawhi Leonard, where it's like, it's a really, really big if they stay healthy, they can be a contender. I just don't know if it's possible for Joel Embiid to stay healthy for a month and a half of the playoffs. He can skip as many regular season games as you want, but once the postseason comes, you don't get those days off. And that's the part where I just don't think Joel's body is going to be able to hold up for any sort of playoff run.
Yeah, it reminds me when I was getting on the Kings, for how much DeRozan was playing. We were having some fun with that. And you basically said, I mean, it's basketball, you have to play. That's kind of how I feel with Joel Embiid. I mean, you tried last season. And then even last season, he got dinged up during the playoffs, even though he barely played. So literally,
try and fix the actual problem.
So what happened was you had to because you didn't play, you guys had terrible seeding. You came in, you were, what were they, a 6 seed? You were on the road. Yep. You weren't in shape.
Yep.
And then you still got injured. So that plan of I'm just going to sneak attack when the playoffs start, maybe not even in football, but maybe because it's a one-off, but it just didn't work.
No,
it just didn't work. So his idea of I'm just going to save myself for the playoffs, it didn't work last season, and I don't know why. Maybe that's why and then you're going to get people feeling for you. Paul George is not a spring chicken, so he's going to say. So
he's also not a dominant playoff player either,
or a guy that's incredibly healthy himself.
Right. Yeah.
So Joel is just saying, we're going to bring you in. We're gonna do the big three thing in the playoffs. But throughout the season, you and Maxey are going to keep us in the 4 seed. So I think it's a complete mess in Philly, and I don't really know what they do. Coming up next, maybe one of the worst Brock Purdy takes of all time. Colin Cowherd gives a list of quarterbacks, questionable quarterbacks, that he would take or not take over Brock Purdy. We break down who he said, why he said it, and if we agree or not. Stiles and Watkins, Sacramento Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. The shot clock is ticking, and your home team is driving up the court. But don't miss your chance to score big at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Save on a new Accord, HRV, Ridgeline, or the all-new Prologue before the buzzer sounds on year-end deals. Don't get benched by high prices. Slam dunk your savings today.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sell on report.
Hey, it's Michael Smirkanish. Business owners and CMOs, how do you plan on growing your business? Have you plateaued on your social media and online efforts? Why not tap into podcasts and radio? In the U.S., audio reaches more than 271 million people weekly. That's more than social media and digital combined. My friends at Radioactive Media know the recipe to launch, optimize, and scale performance by building compelling audio campaigns which work. I personally know the principles of Radioactive Media, their personal approach and knowledge of the medium, unparalleled. For advertisers who want to reach the right audience with the right hosts and programs, text the word profits to 511-511. Heck, you can even buy spots on my program. If you're a mid-sized company or well-funded startup with a monthly budget as low as 5 figures, they can help. Text the word profits to 511-511. Online, radioactivemedia.com. Text rates may apply.
The Sacramento State Hornets are back at home this Saturday. Come check out the high-flying Hornets as they host the Weber State Wildcats. It's homecoming, so come check out some great football and stay for the post-game fireworks. That's Saturday, October 19th, as the Hornets take on Weber State, Hornet Stadium, 6 o'clock. Tickets on sale now at hornetsports.com. And remember, Stingers up.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
So here's the situation. I believe this was on Friday. It was either Thursday or Friday. In the herd with Colin Cowherd was given a list of quarterbacks and whether he'd pick that quarterback or Brock Purdy, because Brock had just balled out against the Seahawks. So it's a 6-minute segment. So we don't need to play all that. I cut the Bo Nix piece of this because that was the one that really got people talking. So we will hear from Colin Cowherd and who he would pick between Brock Purdy and Bo Nix. And then we will give you the full list of who he said he would pick over Brock Purdy and QBs he wouldn't pick over Brock Purdy. Then we're going to open up the phone lines, 916-339-1140. If you're a Niner fan or just a football fan in general or Brock Purdy fan, do you agree with Colin? Do you think he's crazy? And Chris, Nate, and myself will break it all down. This is who Colin Cowherd would pick between Bo Nix and Brock Purdy.
The more accurate thrower collegiately. I think Bo Nix is, by the way, he's starting to settle in. He didn't inherit all these Kittle and Debo and Ayuk and all these wonderful toys to play with. He's basically got Cortland Sutton and cross your fingers. CJ Stroud, Bo Nix. They have the responsibility to rebuild a team. They don't get the luxury seating day one.
Oh, what? So I just want to be clear. Bo Nix is better than Brock Purdy.
Yes. You are not understanding. Maybe you grew up with wealth and luxury, but when you're asked to carry a franchise, it is much different than, hey, just sit down. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. It's a Genesis GV80 coupe. The leather seating, the headlamps, the America's Honesty Broker plays no favorites.
Just a scorching take. Let me read the rest of the list before we get back to Bo Nix. Nate is in shambles right now. Here's the rest of the list. Everyone I'm going to name off is just who they did. So if you don't hear a name, it's because they didn't bring them up. You're not going to hear Josh Allen. You're not going to hear Patrick Mahomes. You're not going to hear Lamar Jackson. I think the situation is these are the questionable guys,
Gotcha.
okay? The QBs that Colin would take over Brock in no particular order. Dak Prescott,
Jared Goff, CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, and Kyler Murray. The QBs, based on that same list he was given that he wouldn't take over Brock Purdy: Sam Darnold, Tua, Jalen Hurts, and Aaron Rodgers. Where do you want to start?
Can I start with, I think he's telling the truth because he put Baker
Telling
Mayfield.
his truth?
His truth.
Okay.
I don't think, I mean, obviously it's played up, right? He's got his little smirk going.
Yeah.
His little evil smile.
You can hear his entire set laughing, being like, this guy's really going for it.
He's, the fact that he put Baker in the quarterbacks he'd take over Brock, this man hates Baker Mayfield.
He does hate
He's hated him
It's a
forever.
backwards hat.
He hates him
He's like
so
almost
much.
the OG of backwards hat quarterback.
He is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm sure maybe at least one quarterback.
Oh, Brock's
just one.
also a backwards hat quarterback.
Yeah, he's the guy who moves your furniture.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, he's the guy who wants moving your furniture.
How's it going? And go ahead, Nate.
Baker Mayfield, that's the one that's like, okay, so I'm up to a point where I believe him. He's believing himself, right? I'll accept that, and that's why. But taking rookies over Brock is nonsense.
It's crazy.
It's nonsense. And week 6 in the NFL is crazy. I mean, especially Bo Nix.
Yeah, Bo Nix to me is the one. That's the one.
Brock, I think most reasonable people, there's always going to be, like our guy JTO said, there's always going to be the crowd that's against Brock Purdy and said it's everyone around him. And he wasn't even making a point, Colin Cowherd, when he started listing the names of all the players. He was just saying their names funny, and he wasn't trying to nail. It didn't feel like he was nailing anything home about the play of Brock Purdy. He just said he was given these tools to be a quarterback, and Bo Nix doesn't have that. So regardless, Brock Purdy's a top 5 quarterback is what I was trying to say. Playing right now, like power rankings, top 7 maybe if you want to go that far. It's just absolutely. It's heinous. It's heinous.
Pretty crazy.
He's essentially arguing.
I don't see how Kirk Cousins is on the would take, but Aaron Rodgers is on the wouldn't.
Well, and when he did, funny enough, when he was doing the kind of the backwards hat bit, the guy that he was really high on and he just completely jumped off, because I was never on this guy's bandwagon, Colin was Jalen Hurts. He was all in on Jalen Hurts.
That was the direct comparison.
It was this is what you're supposed to look like.
Well, he can't throw, Colin. He can't. He speaks in similes, and he can't throw the football.
It's Kyle
Colin.
Juszczyk at quarterback.
Pretty much. And now we had the touchdown.
Minus the Harvard.
And now
he's got the tush push. Nobody's better at 1 yard drill.
And now he's
taking quarterback.
Now
That's
he's
really
taking
good.
He's taking Brock over Jalen, but not these rookies. I mean, look, I like.
You can make the Jaden Daniels argument to me. You can make the Caleb Williams argument, but you throw Bo Nix in there, and you're just trying to get clicks.
I think that's what's tough about this. If you go through the list,
Can we do that and say yes or no?
what I think Colin is doing is would the Niners look better or
the
as
same,
good if these guys were at the helm?
Sure.
Man, we've had this conversation 10 million times.
I
It
don't-
feels
I don't-
like,
I don't
but it
disagree.
changes week to week.
Yeah.
It changes like what everyone's thinking. But Dak Prescott, yes or no? Right now. No way. No way you're taking Dak over Brock right now.
I don't think I would, but I could. I think that there is an argument or a conversation that could lead to, hey, if Dak wasn't in that toxic environment, what would the Niners environment do for him?
I'm gonna take Brock.
It's almost like Trevor Lawrence, where it's like,
Yeah.
like I feel like if he were in a different situation, he probably wouldn't look this bad. Now that doesn't mean you have to ignore the warts, but you also have to acknowledge that he'd probably look better.
Right. If you're taking somebody over Brock, you're saying that this team is better.
Mhm.
So a couple seconds ago, I said as good or better. If you're taking somebody over Brock, you think that
You should, yeah.
that team would be better. So I'm not. It's not as egregious as you're making it sound, Nate. But I am taking Brock.
Okay. I'm definitely taking Brock. Jared Goff, I'm taking Brock Purdy.
I'm taking
sorry.
Brock because I
I'm
saw
sorry.
it head to head.
Jared Goff is horrible QBR or pretty bad QBR. Not whatever. CJ Stroud, you got me.
Taking
CJ Stroud.
You're taking CJ.
He's elite. He's going to be around for a while. Great. Jordan Love.
I'm taking Jordan Love. I'm there.
Really, as a
I'm
Packers
there.
fan?
I'm there. I'm there. Don't you dare say that. But
I was gonna say I'm close, but
not a Packers fan.
Yeah.
I meant to say Packers hater.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's
Slipped
a
out.
big difference.
Yeah. There
I'll go,
is.
you know what? I'll go Brock.
It's the opposite.
I'll go Brock just because I can't be the guy who says I need to see more, and Brock's done it longer,
Sure.
so I'll go Brock.
It's a toss-up for me. Toss-up.
Yeah.
So you can get me either way. Jane Daniels, definitely not.
I'm taking Brock.
Yeah.
I think
based on my brand of I want to see it for a sustained amount of time. I'm taking Brock
I would
over
take
all
Jane
of the
Daniels.
one. You're taking Jane.
I would
Daniels.
take Jaden.
I'm taking no rookie. So Bo Nix is out too.
Well, Bo Nix is out either way.
He's out rookie or 4th year. Or
Yeah.
12th year in college, whatever.
Yeah. Bo Nix is like a year younger than Brock.
Trevor Lawrence, I think,
honestly wouldn't surprise me if Bo Nix is older than Brock.
I think
Purdy.
we looked it up,
Okay.
and he's slightly younger.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud are probably the two most interesting swaps for me. That
I think
just
Trev's
to see,
gone.
Yeah, Trevor's
think
gone.
Trev's-
Trevor's gone. But it would be interesting to see Trevor Lawrence get some time.
Wait, you're taking.
Incredibly
You're taking.
interesting.
You don't even. You don't think that Trevor? How do you think Trevor Lawrence would look?
I think he would look good. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
You're taking Brock.
Yeah, I would take Brock.
Just
yeah.
you're saying at this point it's kind of over for Trevor. Like
Yes.
he's washed.
I don't think it's I don't think
Not
it's
wa-
irreversible. I just think that the Jacksonville situation is cooked. Like I think he needs a change of scenery or something needs to change in that environment wholesale for him to kind of turn.
I'll
things
put it to you
around.
like this: I can't take Trevor Lawrence.
That's the better way.
Yeah,
of saying
I
it.
can't.
Yeah, you
do it.
cannot.
I
Caleb
can't.
Williams.
I can't. I'm not. Doing
No
it.
way. No way.
I'd think about it. Why not? Like, I mean, just because he hasn't done it, like, I mean, he's through 6 weeks, he's looked incredible. He's taken Bears team to 4-2. He can beat, like, everyone complains about Brock running around. You should see Caleb Williams running around.
But I think that's the point of all this. Yeah, you can take him. I cannot. But it's not. They're not
No, it's not a
egregious
definite,
questions.
no.
Kirk Cousins.
No, I would not take Kirk Cousins after an Achilles injury. He's 36 years old.
He's playing pretty good ball.
This is why I think it's in Colin's list is insane. Like, how do you have Kirk Cousins on this list and then you don't have, like, I assume he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers on this list
the only guy
he's 40 years old and he's not playing well.
And the only guy he hates more than Baker is Aaron Rodgers.
There you go. See, I wasn't privy to that information
Yes.
either. But like Tua too, it's like you don't have Tua because you're afraid of the injuries. I get it, but like, how do you have Kirk Cousins on this list today and not? I don't know. Just
So
that part doesn't make sense.
You mentioned
I'm
this,
on Kirk.
you mentioned this guy Baker. No, he's again playing well, but
playing
I'm
really
just not
well.
doing
I'm
it.
not
Just
taking.
doing
He's
it.
not.
I-
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
not
he's more of
taking-
a risk taker than Brock is.
Yeah, if I'm going to take somebody over Brock, I think I would want them to be either have better arm strength or more athletic. This is the Spider-Man meme. To
Yeah,
me.
yeah, I
So
think
I'd
they're
rather
the same.
take Brock.
Yep.
That's okay.
Agreed.
Kyler Murray, again, another interesting one. Risk taker to the max. He would let that thing fly, but I think Kyle Shanahan and him would collide. That would be crazy.
I'm taking Kyle.
I don't blame you for that one.
I just think he's more toolsy. I just think he's got. I
Can't
just
stay
think
healthy.
you could. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you should just stick with what you know
Right.
with Brock, but I think the exciting nature of what Kyler could be,
It would be
is
sick
really tantalizing.
From September to November.
Probably,
And
and
then
then Call of Duty drops, and you're like,
yeah,
our play is
And
also
I'm
down.
injured
Yeah.
now.
right when the season gets going.
Yeah.
No
get
mention.
that
I mean, Sam Darnold's on his list.
No.
We haven't mentioned it.
No,
And I guess
No.
the only reason is because he played with the exact same offense last year.
yes,
And we got to see him a little bit,
I
in
don't
week
think that's why.
18.
I don't. Yeah, I just
also think he's not as
and
good.
he used to be a big Sam
had a good
Darnold
month.
guy too. Let's get to the QBs that Colin wouldn't take over Brock Purdy on the other side. And the epiphany that I had while YouTube was messing around with no multi-view. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender. In the paint. Soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
At the UPS store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS store. Be unstoppable.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
Just now joining us, Stiles Watkins, Sacramento Sports. Hour 15 left before we hand it off to the Drive Guys, Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper. Can we find out if Draper, since he won't do crosstalk, can we find out if he's good with the Sirianni stuff? Can somebody ask him?
That's his guy.
Can somebody ask him?
Big fella.
You know, he just big leagues me when he comes in here. He doesn't talk to me. Can somebody ask him?
Just anybody ask him?
Yeah,
or?
Somebody on the text line.
Maybe you text
Say,
him.
hey, Alan was wondering, since you won't do crosstalk, how do you feel about the Nick Sirianni thing? Can somebody do that for me? Thank you so much.
Call in. Call into the show.
The last thing I'm doing is calling in to the Drive Guys. And I mean the last. I'd rather watch the Eric Armstead, and it wasn't Chick-fil-A, it was Shake Shack.
Sorry.
Which is highly overrated, by the way.
Whoa.
That's a side.
Highly overpriced.
And overrated. Shake Shack. Come on.
It's okay.
Shake Shack's
I can't wait for the
Y'all
1
are
o'clock hour.
We got it here once.
Y'all
Yeah.
are tripping.
It was pretty good, but it was expensive.
It's good.
All
Shake
right.
Shack's bomb. Y'all are tripping.
The QBs that Colin Cowherd would take over Brock Purdy. Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, Kyler, Codd, Murray. QBs that he wouldn't: Sam Darnold, Tua, Jalen Hurts, and Aaron Rodgers. We talked about the QBs that he would take over Brock, and we, at least admitted that some of these conversations were closer. Some we would take over Brock, but, some of the egregious, the disrespectful nature of, even if you would maybe, Jaden Daniels, higher ceiling, he's already proved. It's just the Bo Nixes of the world. It's just a little bit much there from Colin. And then to not take Sam Darnold, who's undefeated, Tua, who I think we understand Tua, Jalen Hurts. Me personally, I've never been big on Jalen Hurts, and Aaron Rodgers has stunk. So is there anybody that you would take over Brock that Colin wouldn't out of Sam Darnold, Tua, Jalen, and Aaron Rodgers?
No. I definitely, Aaron Rodgers, like, what's the point at this point? He's 40. He's definitely showing some signs of weakness this year. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much to hope for the future with Aaron. Tua, kind of same thing where it's just like injuries. I'm not going to make that bet on him. No. Sam Darnold, like Nate said, like, we've already seen him in the system. He'd be fine, but he would not be better than Brock Purdy. He could probably run the offense to a sufficient level, but I don't think he'd be better than Brock. And then Jalen. Yeah, I mean, sure, they can get more creative in the run game, but they would not down the field. There would not be a lot of explosive plays passing wise.
Well, I saw one thing yesterday on the Eagles, and it said the Eagles have one play.
And it's thrown deep. It's thrown deep to AJ Brown. It's crazy. It's the Marvin Harrison Jr. play. It's insane.
Yeah, and this leads me into my epiphany, Chris. You ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. So yesterday I told you how excited I was to watch all the games, Ravens, Commanders, and getting my guy Spencer Rattler. I was very excited to watch all the games. Multiview wasn't working for YouTube, right? I looked it up. They said try uninstalling the app and reinstalling it. Nothing worked. So that led me to basically have to watch each game for a longer period of time. So I'm watching, a drive here, a drive there. I'm bouncing back and forth, doing stuff like that. And as I'm watching the game, Chris, and as we talked earlier in the show about somebody who made $1,000 from a interception parlay, right? Because all these guys threw picks, and some of the younger QBs and some of the not younger QBs, and they just can't figure it out. And QB play is just not at a premium. Tom Brady has told us, we thought he was possibly hating, but it's the truth. Something that I continued to hear, Chris, throughout the duration of the games, didn't matter what broadcast I was listening to. I'm listening I'm watching Spencer Rattler and the Saints. Oh man, he really had a guy right there, but he missed it. I'm watching another game. Oh man, he had an open guy on the side and he missed it. And I know I've been the guy to sit there and make light of the elite processing thing when it comes to Brock Purdy. I like to have fun with Niner fans, and we understand all that. But as I'm watching these games, Chris, I realized that as much as it is about the scheme, as much as it is about the players, and we can't sit there and say that Kyle Shanahan can't call a heck of a game or that the weapons that the Niners have aren't ridiculous, when you watch the game and when you watch guys like Brock Purdy, and somebody always seems to be open, and I am not comparing him to Tom Brady, but Tom Brady was another guy where you'd watch and you'd honestly feel like there was an extra player on the field for the Patriots. When you watch Brock Purdy and there's always an open guy, and we've sat here on these airwaves say, I mean, there's just a wide open dude. The revelation or epiphany that I had yesterday while watching is that there are a lot of open opportunities throughout a football game, but a lot of these QBs just don't seem to hit it.
Yeah.
So we get on Brock Purdy for throwing to the open guy as if he has more open opportunities than other QBs, when in reality, he's just reading the defense at a higher level than a lot of these other QBs that make the wrong decision. And then the broadcast, who can see everything, says, or you from your couch says, hey, they had him here, they had him there. You don't do that with Brock Purdy because he knows it and he hits them. And I don't know why it took this long. Maybe because, like I said, I was watching different games for a longer period of time. But every game I watched, Chris, it was, oh, he missed a guy. Oh, he missed a guy. Oh, he missed a guy. So it's not that these play calls are that much worse than Kyle Shanahan per se. I'm sure there is a gap, but it's also, you have to have a quarterback that sees what you're seeing. There are options on every single play, and Brock Purdy processes at such a quick level that he is able to catch things that other QBs that might have stronger arms, that might be more athletically gifted, they don't catch. And maybe I'm being Captain Obvious here, but when people say, oh, there's always an open guy, that's because Brock is finding them. Watch another quarterback play and listen to the broadcast as you're watching, and they'll tell you,
he missed a guy here, he missed a guy there. They don't do that with Brock because he hardly misses them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, for sure, like everything you said definitely is definitely true. And I mean, I really noticed the juxtaposition of just if you watch Jimmy play in the same system versus Brock, it's not only seeing the receivers, but it's also, hey, yeah, open. Oh, how hard is it to hit an open receiver? Well, I don't know. Jimmy Garoppolo made it look really freaking hard.
Yeah.
So I think it's something like you said that it might seem obvious, but it's just not something you can overlook and take for granted. I think that's the thing about Brock that I noticed more than any, because, you know, I didn't watch a ton of Niners before having to talk about them all the time on the show. And so, yeah, most of my watching experience has been through Vikings quarterbacks or been through their rivals and watching how they kind of move and operate. And the thing that always surprised me about Brock is just, yeah, like, sure, he's not jump off the page. He's a top 5 quarterback. But the thing is, he just didn't make mistakes. He didn't do things that other people just seemingly do. And I think, again, the phrase that I would use is just take it for granted. Like, it feels like, yeah, Brock doesn't knock your socks off, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not always making the right play. And yeah, again, I just think that there's so many quarterbacks around the NFL that you say, oh, it's a dump off. How hard is it to make a dump off? Well, I don't know. I see people throw it into the ground all the time. Deshaun Watson can't complete a dump off. And so I think it's just, again, taking what Brock does, even though he makes it look easy, like it might be easy for him because of Kyle's system. And yeah, the fact that the receivers are open, but it doesn't mean that the play is going to work out. There's so many bad quarterbacks in the NFL that Brock just isn't one of them. And I think that's the thing that just continues to shine, even when he's not playing well, like these past couple weeks when people were complaining about he's scrambling around too much and not looking for the play that's there. I just think, okay, well, if this is what it looks like when Brock is bad, I really don't think there's much to complain about because the offense is still moving. I mean, to mention your boy Spencer Rattler, a little unfair because it's his first start, but you see how it can be, okay, yeah, the offense moves, and then it could just completely shut down. And I think, you know, we saw it last week with the Niners, unfortunately, in that second half. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't get a single drive going. But for the most part, feels like at the very least, Brock keeps the offense moving when it needs to move. And I just think that that's an underrated quality to have in any quarterback.
Coming up next, top stories at the top of the hour. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Tommy, I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Every club on the shelves can be tried for free on the driving range. 3 TrackMan units and a Hagen Oaks team of skilled fitting professionals provide the finest club fitting experience. Our personable Super Shop staff will show you the newest to help you look and play your best. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Where do you go when you need someone to represent you? For me, you want someone that is local and that you can actually get to and talk with. There are plenty of big branded lawyers out there with the name, but you never get to talk to them. So go to saclegaldefense.com and connect with the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez. He's local, he'll represent you, and he'll have your back. Whether it's expungements, wrongful termination, when you're in a spot when you need legal help, call the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez at 916-304-9187.
Despite having no experience, Gavin Newsom made Jessica Morse his, quote, wildfire specialist. The result? Under Newsom and Morse, insurance rates and utility bills skyrocketed. Millions of dollars were slashed from the state's fire prevention budget. And they were even caught lying about their record, while millions of acres burned and families lost their homes. Now Gavin has chosen Jessica Morse again, this time to run for Congress. We have a better choice. Kevin Kiley. As our congressman, Kevin Kiley has worked across party lines to secure millions for wildfire protection and expand water supplies. And Kevin Kiley's bill to protect Lake Tahoe will bring up to $415 million home to our district to reduce the threat of fires and restore the ecosystem of the lake, delivering results and making a difference. Let's keep Kevin Kiley working for us.
I'm Kevin Kiley. I approve this message. Paid for by Kevin Kiley for Congress.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Well. I know we said that top stories at the top of the hour are going to come up at 1 o'clock. Well, we have the newest top story. Dare I call it breaking news, Nate?
When it breaks,
we have it first.
It's Sacktown Sports breaking news.
We have breaking news. The Sacramento Kings are trading Jalen McDaniels and a second-round pick to the San Antonio Spurs. Sources tell ESPN. This is from Shams. Shams, 2 minutes ago, also says Spurs plan to waive McDaniels, sources said, while Kings open roster flexibility for a potential addition down the line. McDaniels has averaged 6.9 points and 3.3 rebounds over his first 5 NBA seasons. Well, if somebody tells you that preseason games don't matter and practice doesn't matter, we'll tell them that that's simply not true. I don't know, Chris, how much, and we called it out. We said Monty has, they kind of barely talked about Jalen McDaniels. Once we got to media day, that's when we started to hear more about Jalen McDaniels. But the whole thing seemed a bit, I don't want to say fishy, but we couldn't tell how committed they were to actually thinking that this could be found money. Clearly what they saw during practice and the first couple preseason games was not to their liking. And they decided, we'd rather have the flexibility than see what this guy can do.
Yeah, and Frankie, our guy Frankie Cardicelli is also putting out the Kings now have 2 open roster spots, and McDaniels being traded opens up about $4.7 million on the cap sheet due to his salary. So who knows? I mean, it could be maybe some of those two-way guys they hope to convert to a full contract. It could just be maybe they see some free agents. We know that they had Jay Crowder was in the building, Nasir Little, tons of people, TJ Warren, he ended up getting signed, but they had a couple guys in for workouts throughout the summer, and maybe it is, hey, we got a good look at Jalen, it's just not working, it's not a fit, maybe he's a little bit more far gone in terms of shooting, or he's not as far along defensively as what they initially thought with his size. I like the fact that they move on early. There's no need to shoehorn him in, force feed him, because there was a real possibility that he was going to get opening night minutes, when the season started. And I do think that, this clearly states that he probably wasn't going to be in those kind of plans. And maybe this entire time has been, the Kings like to kick the tires on him, but they were never really, like you said, they were never really fully committed. We saw that video of Jalen McDaniels saying, what? I got traded to Sacramento. And then it was kind of quiet. He didn't have his intro press conference, I don't think at all, for Sacramento, or it took him a really long time to have it. And so it was just a really weird summer. And this definitely is a very interesting crescendo to it all. A weird ending, unceremonious ending for Jalen McDaniels here in Sacramento. And I think there's definitely going to be some people out there that are going to be upset that we had to throw in a second-round pick in order to shed his salary. I would tell you that that's just the price of business and nothing really to cry over.
Mike Holmes on the Sack Chat. So who did we get? Nobody. Mike.
Probably cash consideration.
Yeah, cash.
You got to
cash
get something back.
Yeah, you got to get
probably
something.
Going to be cash.
But it's not a person.
Probably not.
It's not a person, place, or thing, or that thing is cash considerations. Chris, does this say anything to you about how? I mean, I guess he wasn't. Kevin Herter and McDaniels weren't really going to play the same position. Does this say anything to you about maybe how soon Trey Lyles will be back, or do you think they're just thinking, look, we're just going to survive as long as we need to survive?
No, I mean, Trey's supposed to be back relatively soon here. No, I wouldn't think this has anything to do with any of the other players except for Jalen McDaniels just not really being a fit. So, it's again, I'd prefer them, cut it out now than try and give it a go if they don't really believe it's going to work out. But I do also wonder, I mean, just to kind of put the tinfoil hat on, I wonder how much of this maybe has to do with them liking Isaac Jones. I think he's gotten a lot of minutes this preseason. He played in the first quarter of a couple of those home preseason games that we've seen. So, or the first home preseason game against the Warriors. I wonder how much of this could potentially be the Kings really like what they see in Isaac Jones, and maybe he's somebody that they see possibly filling in at the 3-4 position, even though he played a lot of big man in college. Could maybe signal that, if anything, but I wouldn't think this has much to do with Trey, who I think they're hoping to have by the hopefully by the start of the season.
Yeah, because I remember watching Isaac Jones when he first got signed, and then when he started playing with the Kings, I honestly, between Isaac Jones and Isaiah Crawford with the eyes and you're at another Jones, it was a little confusing because then I thought Isaac Jones was a center, but they're playing him at a different position, like you said, Chris, and he's played pretty darn well. That's a position of need for the Kings. I'm just looking up here. Jalen McDaniels in that first game, he played 21 minutes. He had 4 rebounds and 6 assists. And in that second game, since you said he did not play yesterday, the second game, he only played 4 minutes and he had 1 rebound.
I will also say here, Sean Cunningham, friend of the show, friend of the station, puts out that sources confirm that Jalen McDaniels to San Antonio, along with the second-round pick, is indeed true, but also throws in this little interesting nugget. He then wraps up the tweet by saying, the move opens up a roster spot and is a move that has been in the works and, quote, part 1 of something to come. That is from Sean Cunningham.
I just want to give
40.
I just want to give us a pat on the back, really, because we don't, we're the flagship. We have interviews with these guys. We have interviews with Monty. We have interviews with Mike Brown. And, we never want to come off as disrespectful, but we're not crazy. I mean, the whole thing was really weird how they just kind of signed him and just not ignored him. But I was asking, is he in Sacramento? What is going on? And it turns out, to that point of what Sean is saying, this thing was never, it was all, they couldn't say it wasn't going to be a thing, but really it was never going to be a thing. And essentially you had Monty probably not wanting to talk too much about it because he's thinking, yeah, he's not going to be on our team. And to that point, Chris, going back to what I was saying, as far as preseason is concerned and practice, he would have had to have the 2-3 week span of his life. It seems like his future was already written unless he just really blew everyone's socks off, and he just didn't do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think he could have had an opportunity here. I mean, we talk about the wing depth being an issue here for Sacramento, and I think he could have helped with that. And I think it's really disappointing from an on the floor standpoint that he couldn't, because somebody of his frame and, frankly, I mean, his brother being as good as he is, I think that there was a lot of hope that maybe you found a little lost money there and that you can maybe just not carve out a potential starter or anything like that, but that you might have found somebody that can be a decent contributor to your team and somebody that you don't need to do much, but just lean into what you're already gifted at. and do that for us. And I think it's really clear that it just wasn't at all what they were hoping it is. I also think this is an interesting note. I see this from Blake Murphy, who's a Blue Jays and Raptors analyst at Sportsnet. He says, so the Kings traded Davion Mitchell, the 45th pick, and a 25 Portland second for Jalen McDaniels, who they just attached with a second to get rid of, largely to get out of Sasha Vezenkov's money, which the Raptors bought out for $0. So maybe, just maybe, if you're really looking through all of this, I won't say panic moves or anything like that, because that kind of implies that there's some sort of doomsday scenario being played out, but it's just maybe a little bit of admission of defeat, and also that, it's just maybe not, as I said, when the initial Davion trade happened, there's some GMs out there that don't like to lose a trade ever, period. And those are Danny Ainges of the world, the Masai Ujiris you always hear. And I don't know if it's a positive or some could definitely take it as a big negative, but this Kings front office is just a little unafraid to admit defeat and aren't afraid to also attach picks in order to facilitate a deal getting done. I think there's a lot of teams out there that say, hold on, you're not gonna hold me hostage just because I want to do this. I think you could take it either way, but I just think it's definitely noteworthy that the Kings have attached a lot of very real assets to get rid of what you could maybe call a previous mistake.
Yeah. Well, I would say this, and going back to Sean, who's very well connected, and Chris, when something like that comes out and when you decide to say what Sean said, it's typically for a reason. Okay. And like we said, Sean has sources within the organization. And I wonder, to what you're saying as far as admitting defeat or losing a trade, if this is coming out as some type of PR as, oh, well, this is only part one. Well, this is not the first time we've heard this conversation about the move before the move when it comes to the Davion Mitchell stuff. And now Jalen McDaniels is out the door and it costs you a second-round pick as well. This second move, I guess I fear that they keep talking up this second move. It better be a move, because they keep on.
I wouldn't expect that.
But they keep on saying, well,
this is the first time it's been reported. Last time it was just me saying there has to be something else following.
Yeah.
Sean wouldn't go out there and just report like that. I don't think that's Sean's thoughts. I think that is something I don't think he would go out with that if he didn't think that was something that's actually going to happen.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it better be something that is viewed as significant, is what I'm saying.
Well, what would you view as significant? Because I don't think you're going to get.
I guess I'd have to see it.
Okay, I just wouldn't expect I wouldn't expect a.
I'm not talking
really
Kyle
big
Kuzma
name
or something.
No.
I just something
like, is Jay Crowder good enough for you? Like, if they sign,
if they had to do all this, but I don't think they'd have to do all this to get Jay Crowder.
That's what I'm just trying to wonder what exactly, because to me that's the caliber of move that I'm expecting here, is that they're gonna just bring some veteran guy who's on a minimum and isn't maybe they're hoping to get end of rotation minutes out of.
Let me ask you this though,
maybe a JTA.
Are you thinking that when Sean said what he just said, and saying this is part one, are you thinking that when he said part one, is that still connected to the initial Davion Sasha move, or are you believing that this is something separate?
No, he's talking about this move here.
This specific.
Yes, this move here. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe look, if it's for Jay Crowder and they had to do this to get Jay Crowder, I don't love it, but I do like Jay Crowder, and I've said I like Jay Crowder.
It could be any of those guys. That's just an example, because that's a name that we know he was in town, and maybe there was some interest in. But it could realistically be anybody on the free agent list.
Yes,
or they can make a trade too. They can maybe acquire somebody that's on the fringe of somebody else's.
But this is what I'm saying. So Farmer Bleezy 22 on Sack Chat is saying Cam Johnson. I'm saying that's not
happening.
Yeah, when you say part one and part two, people are going to start. Their eyes are going to get real big. So I'm saying they shouldn't get too big. Yeah. Don't get too big. So Jalen McDaniels, thank you for your time. Thank you for being on the show.
Yes,
okay, I'm wishing you the best in your.
We'll never forget it.
Yeah, never forget it. Wishing you the best in your career. I know he's probably, he's very close with his brother in Minnesota. They're probably having conversations there. We wish you the best. Besides when the Spurs play the Kings, and we move on from there. All right, we'll get to top stories on the other side, and we might condense it based on what we think is
the most important. But if you have anything to say about what the Kings just did, 916-339-1140, moving on from Jalen McDaniels to open up a roster spot, cost him Jalen McDaniels and a second-round pick. Are you worried? Well, you shouldn't be. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The quest for ring number 6 happens here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Fly ball, George went up and caught the ball. Touchdown!
Listen on Sacktown Sports for all the 49ers action.
Jennings went up and took it away. What a catch by JJ. He scored 3 touchdowns today.
Quest for 6 lives here on your local sports leader, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Made a Chevy Silverado blowout is on with $12,750 off MSRP. Every new 2024 Silverado half-ton LT in stock after rebates. Or choose $12,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 Silverado half-ton RST in stock after rebates. Exclusively at Meda Chevy at MedaChevy.com. Sacramento's Silverado headquarters. Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Meda Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. List radio 2010 model year or newer. Ends 10/31/24.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Jalen McDaniels out. Mets, Dodgers on. Francisco Lindor also out of the ballpark. Mets take an early 1-0 lead. They got blanked yesterday, 9-0. One of the biggest shutouts, I think, in NLCS history in game 1. So Mets take an early lead as me personally, hope that the Mets can get back. If you're going to knock out the Phillies, who I had with my Giants out, the least you can do is knock out the Dodgers, please.
I think it's a bullpen game for the Dodgers today, too, if I'm not mistaken.
That's every other game for them.
How mad would MLB get? We're talking about Dodgers, Yankees, if it's Guardians, Mets.
That's a nightmare.
It's not great.
Yeah.
It's definitely not great.
That is
the Mets have a little something to
little,
them, but
yeah.
Still
That's
need the
not
other side to
enough.
pull in.
A little something
You got
is the second
You got
team.
Lindor and Polar Bear.
Yeah.
And
Yankees
that's it.
have to make it. For MLB's sake, they probably honestly, true serum, they don't care who wins the NLCS. Either one is fine.
Right.
If the Yankees are on the other side. If the Yankees are on the other side, they can sell whatever they want for the next series.
And that's where it gets to, I've helped out in leagues where they do the robot ump, right? I'm not going to talk about any type of collusion here, but I'm saying these umps, you trust them. They got to do a good job, but they also know you talk about their salaries. Everything is better if the Yankees win.
Everything.
So if something is right on the cusp and it gets called a strike, if you're the Guardians, you better be swinging this week. That's all I'm saying. If you are the Guardians, do not look to walk. You are going to need to swing the bat. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let's get into the top stories at the top of the hour. Well, we just talked about Jalen McDaniels. If you are just now joining us, Jalen McDaniels has been traded to the Spurs. He's no longer a Sacramento King. It was short-lived. Played in the first preseason game, played about 4 minutes in the second preseason game, then didn't play at all in yesterday's game.
Sean's also reporting that he was at practice today, which is interesting.
Cold world.
Said the Kings wrapped up practice about 30 minutes ago in Sacramento. Jalen McDaniels was participating up to the prior trade happened.
That's 2 times in 1 year. Didn't he get traded while he was practicing?
Yeah.
Well, he was working out on his own.
Sure. But being on the court and being like, hey, man, you traded.
Yeah, every time he steps on the court, he just wonders where I'm headed next.
Yeah.
So
that is nasty.
Look, man, the Spurs, they're kind of rebuilding, but they kind of want to surprise some people because they got Wemby. And it looks like he's going to get waived, Chris. Honestly, I forgot that Shams mentioned that. So it's just back to the drawing board, and hopefully he
have the
pops
money
up.
to do it.
Yeah. He'll probably hang around, or maybe he'll end up in Europe or overseas, something like that. So wishing Jalen McDaniels the best, and hopefully the part 2 to this part 1, as far as Sean Cunningham is reporting, hopefully that makes people happy, and it is something that can help the team. Next, we have the San Jose Sharks rookie and the newest stud, Macklin Celebrini, placed on the injured reserve. I've read about 3 different articles, Chris, just keep saying lower body injury. So he is on injured reserved. Not great for the Sharks. It was very exciting when he scored his first goal of his career. So we look forward to seeing Macklin when he is back on the ice. Next, Chris, this is some good news as it pertains to injury history. After missing 2 straight NBA seasons, Chicago's Lonzo Ball is expected to make a return to basketball on Wednesday against Minnesota. Sources told ESPN a major comeback from cartilage transplant for Ball, who last played January 14th, 2022. What can we expect from Lonzo Ball at this point, Chris? Or are we just happy to see him on the court?
I mean, yeah, you have no idea what you can expect. I mean, he's been out for 2 years now, and I think it's just a miracle that he's even playing basketball. I mean, it sounded like his knee recovery went about as bad as it could, and I think for a minute there, a lot of people were wondering if he was ever going to play basketball again. I think it's definitely a Derrick Rose situation where it just feels like, hey, if he's playing, it doesn't really matter how well or how bad he is playing. It's just great to see him out there, and it's just crazy that you would have never thought after Lonzo, everything that happened with him in college, like the whole hysteria of Lonzo Ball, LeVar Ball, LaMelo Ball, Ball in the family, all of it. The fact that, just a couple of years down the line, he wouldn't even be playing basketball, obviously for injury reasons, not for skill reasons, but it's just crazy how his career has gone, especially when you consider that him versus De'Aaron was like a very, very real fan rivalry that really was going back and forth for a while. And the fact that, clearly De'Aaron has long passed him. It's just crazy to think about.
And last on our top stories, Chris, Sam Mitchell, NBA TV. There was a little bit of
unloading of the clip, you could say.
Yeah, drama.
My goodness.
Between host Chris Miles and Sam Mitchell. Essentially, Chris Miles made a joke about Sam Mitchell getting paid, right? Or coaches getting paid. Sam Mitchell basically ousted or made it sound like Chris Miles was making more money than him, and it got pretty awkward pretty fast.
I just wanted to watch the Kings Warriors.
Yes.
That's all I wanted.
And then they came out, and I guess they're neighbors, and they made a video, and people were defending them, saying they were clearly joking, get a life. The whole thing was a bit awkward. And imagine you're Chris Watkins, and you're just sitting down, getting ready to watch a game, and because I didn't even notice it was happening until Chris posted it on social media, and this is what happened. Here it is.
Steve Curtis, head coach. Yeah, I saw that. The coaches don't get medals. I guess it just tells you what international how they value coaches. Not at all.
I'm surprised
coaches don't get a gold medal.
I'm surprised coaches get a paycheck for this show. I think maybe you should do this pro bono, my friend.
Last time I looked at my check, it's pretty close. So, hey, I'm taking donations. Why don't you come up off some of that money you got since you're over there bragging about it?
I'm not bragging about it.
Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you rent your beach house out down in Florida during the hurricane? Or do I need to go on? How about your townhouse over in Buckhead?
Hey, what's going on here, Sam?
You want to call me out? I mean, come on.
I think
you screaming broke and hungry. Let's just see it. You know, I know what you have and where you live, young fella, so you need to stop.
I think we have snitches on the show today.
No, we don't have snitches. We have
Sam
truth tellers.
Mitchell.
We have truth tellers, so you're the one who crying poor and destitute up here. When do I need to keep going on further, more and more? Or do you want me to stop right now?
Go to this game between the Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors.
You're going to stop messing with me on national TV. I done told you about that. Hey, do I need to give out the address? Because you're not at home right now.
Look at this. A game in Seattle.
Yes.
Tim.
I miss that place. They should still have an NBA team. I love Seattle, one of the best NBA cities ever. They won a championship. The fact that they do not have a team, I don't understand it. That needs to be an NBA team in Seattle.
For tonight.
So that is how it started and ended. Like I said, they put out a video and they were saying, we didn't even understand this was going on and we're all good friends, blah, 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 blah. Then Brian Geltzeiler, host on Sirius NBA Radio, who does hits with Sam.
Yeah, they have a show together.
They have a show together. Discuss this with Sam in detail this morning. Let me clarify a few very important details. Sam and Chris were both joking. The two were in the green room hanging out 5 minutes later laughing about something else. This didn't get mentioned again. Number two, Sam and Chris are really good friends. Sam didn't lose control. He was messing with him as he does every week with me on our show. And three, most importantly, the address Sam gave was a fictional address he made up. Name me one grown man who knows the address of another man's investment property. Bottom line, y'all need some more excitement in your life. So I was good with what Brian said until the end. Okay, Brian, we don't know these people. It's a preseason game, and it didn't sound like a joke. So don't try to flip it on everybody else, Brian. But as far as what actually happened, Chris, I mean, it was hilarious to me.
It was very awkward. I didn't enjoy really any of it. I was definitely felt like he was going feral for a second. It was like he forgot he was like on TV and everybody was watching. And he definitely, it was like my immediate thought was just like, does he? You know, there's so many people in the Bay Area and Sacramento this is being broadcast to that just want to watch a basketball game. And we're instead being let into the inside of these two's relationship. It was so strange, so random. And all I wanted was I just want to hear what is happening in their ears. Because I know the producers are get to the game. Get to the game. Can you guys get to the game, please? Right. Show the Seattle. Cut to Seattle, please. Guys, change the subject. It was crazy, and I don't know. I mean, that's TV for you, I guess. But man, Sam, look, I'm not pocket watching, but probably should find a new place to be employed on Monday because that's crazy. You cannot have that on TV.
Yeah,
because that's not. Again, I didn't think it was funny. I just thought it was awkward television.
Well, and now, I think he'll be fine because everybody is defending them, saying like if you have to, and this is how I know, when you have to tell somebody something's a joke, it wasn't a good joke. Okay, so that's why people coming out and defending them as if we know these guys, we reacted because we don't know that it's a joke. Yeah. If you have to tell somebody, if I have something to say to Chris that's, rude or awkward or Nate, and I have to say, hey, I'm joking, that probably wasn't a good joke. Or even if Chris knows it, but Nate's watching us thinking, is everything good? Then it wasn't a great joke. And that's not even a TV situation. This is a TV situation, but my favorite line from Sam was, I'm taking donations. I'm taking donations.
I'm not sure anybody really watched that segment too, because if you did, you would have known Sam Mitchell was calling that segment in. Like he was terrible. Like right before that clip started, he was talking about how, Warrior fans are excited because this is the only ticket they'll be able to afford all year because the tickets are so dang expensive and living down there is so dang expensive. Like this, they better enjoy tonight. And I was like, what is this guy? Like, what is he on right now? He starts talking about the Kings being trash and, they don't have anybody besides Sabonis who's over 6'5". He called Keegan Murray under 6'5". It was crazy.
Yeah.
Sam Mitchell, I'm sorry. Maybe just, go off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Like, it's all right. Go the way about
be careful. Somebody, I'm going to say the text line's coming back. We got some crazy NFL stats from week 6. And I know you've been waiting. Eric Armstead
goes to Shake Shack. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Looking at mostly sunny skies, a pretty nice day to be outdoors. We'll have light westerly winds and highs today in the low to mid 80s. Expect overnight lows in the mid 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
DC here, and if you've been thinking about a new car, you gotta see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia. You can always count on low payments and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years, right here in Folsom.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? Sunpoint Public Adjusters can help. Sunpoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call Sunpoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. Sunpoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at the AEWay.com for an instant quote. That's the AEWay.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Fall's right around the corner, and there's no better way to experience nature and everything that Northern California has to offer than in a Jeep. And right now, it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And they've got the deals and selection for you. From sales to service, they're going to prove to you why they deserve your business. Their GM, Chuck Dean, he has this talent of not only getting you the best deal in town, but he also is able to build an inventory that other dealers are jealous of. SacSuperstore.com and located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
From the 916, saw Sam Mitchell thing live. To me, it was the young buck with the pro bono call that started it. One dude who is younger, makes more money, and Sam Mitchell has way more value to the show. Well, by the way, it wasn't while game was going on.
No, it was right before that.
Yeah, lastly, for you dudes, your show is all I can listen to. I like your perspectives. Keep doing you from Studio Craig. Appreciate you, Studio Craig.
I thought he was setting up a slam there. The way you were reading it, I'm like, oh, man.
No, we had that last week when we did you missed our Bob Costas. There were people mad at us for our Bob Costas.
Okay.
But not too spicy because they can't handle it.
Is this an on-air recap, or are you telling me after?
No. It was just about the baseball calls and how certain people were saying Bob Costas needs a little bit more life, and some people like the more, I don't want to say, I feel like monotone sounds disrespectful, but I'm not trying for.
Yeah, I don't know what the right word would be.
Neutral?
Yeah.
Neutral. Yeah. We'll go with neutral.
Emotionally neutral, especially.
1-0 Top of the second. Here you go, Chris, with those. Well, look, if you're going to have a bullpen game, you do it with a lineup like the Dodgers. So 1-0 still, top of the second, no outs, man on first and second.
Got a new pitcher up.
Let's bleep and go Mets. That's what I have to say to that.
Grimace.
Did we already talk about how the Mets came up with their colors? Did we talk about that on the show?
I haven't heard it.
So once I believe it was with the Giants and Dodgers leaving, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, with the Giants and Dodgers both leaving New York, the Mets came and they took some of the orange from the Giants and some of the blue from the Dodgers.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe not. That's kind of like having the flag, the Cowboys-Niners flag.
No, it's not.
Oh.
That is not the same at all. Do you have Eric Armstead for us?
Yeah, I do, unfortunately.
All right, we've earned it. You know,
we've earned it to torture everybody.
We didn't go any, we didn't have any Carmichael Dave. Oh, Nate, we had a whole zoo segment last week.
Oh, yeah.
You would have loved it. Oh, by the way, speaking of the zoo, after we had that conversation about how giraffes and zebras, the sounds they make last week, my wife, as I'm getting ready to watch college football, says, hey, you want to go to the Sacramento Zoo?
I saw that. Yeah, you saw a zebra.
On Saturday. It was a lot of fun.
A little underwhelming.
So here was the problem.
Yeah.
And I'd love to partner with the Sacramento Zoo. Don't get me wrong. The giraffes, great.
That's always the problem.
Zebras, great.
Yep.
You know I like my big cats, okay? Let's go through them. The cheetahs, asleep.
Yeah. That's the worst
Okay?
part. Yep.
Leopards, nowhere to be found.
Yep.
The lion Slamson the second. I read the thing. It says Slamson is new to the air, is new.
Mm-hmm.
So Slamson comes out when he's being trained. My question is, if you're not going to train Slamson at 12:30 on a Saturday, you got to change up the schedule.
Yeah.
Nobody got to see Slamson, right? I saw a gator.
Did you see any monkeys? I like
We saw the monkeys.
the gibbons and
We
the
saw the
orangutans.
monkeys were
Those
sick.
things be flying.
The gibbons are crazy.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
A
lot of birds
love
there
monkeys.
too.
Yeah, the monkeys were dope. Don't get me wrong, but the cheetahs.
It's the main attraction.
The cheetahs. I saw them at least, and I saw the leopard, but all of them were asleep.
Yeah.
And I got 2 cats. I know they sleep a lot, but the lion, no lion was crazy.
No lions.
And it was weird because they had the training session for the gator, and they had the training sessions for others.
Sound right.
But there was no training session for the lion.
What's the training session?
It's where they
feed them.
Yeah,
they feed them, and not
tricks?
do tricks, but you
Hula
watch
hoops
them.
and stuff.
You can know that they'll be active.
Right.
So there was no sign to set, because Baby Stiles says, where's the lion?
Right.
And I'm thinking, I don't know. And there's no training session sign.
Yeah.
So we
you should
saved
try
about
and
an hour
explain
and a
that
half.
to her. You should explain to your daughter, to your
I just said,
little,
you want to go see the zebra
2-year-old
again?
daughter.
You want to go see the zebra again?
Well, honey, the way that the zoo works.
Yeah. And 916 says, and the Mets took the pinstripes from the Yankees. So it's just
there you go.
a combo.
Hodgepodge.
Thank you for that, 916.
Nice.
All right, Nate. We're just going to have some fun, and then we'll get into some weird.
There is an ad read in the middle of this too. Just listen for that. It's really weird.
How long is this? I don't want to get in trouble.
I can't tell on TikTok because it doesn't give me a time.
All right, we'll know when it's time to cut it.
Or we could just talk over it or whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll talk.
All right, here we go.
I'm here at Shake Shack, and this is what a defensive lineman orders.
All right, Sunday.
Oh, wait,
and I
Nate,
need
pause
a
it.
chicken
Pause it.
salad.
Pause.
Okay.
We were supposed to guess the order.
Oh,
Yes,
I
you
kind of
guys
already
need to.
saw it.
I
I
know.
kind of already saw
You
it.
guessed the order.
So Shake Shack, I think he's gonna go 3 burgers, 2 fries, and a shake.
Well, there's kind of a theme to this video, and
Okay.
that we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Eric. D lineman. I came here for the chicken. This Chicken Shack. Shake Shack is running a crazy deal that every Sunday you get a free Chicken Shack with at least a $10 order. All right, got my.
So clearly, he was filming the video. Went,
Don't
I
get
didn't do
chicken."
the ad read.
And where did he do that read?
In the most
bathroom?
echo, yeah, in a church.
He was already there, so we had to run to the bathroom and do a read.
But anyways, it's based on chicken here.
Okay, so let me say 3 chicken sandwiches, 2 fries, and a shake.
All right, here we go.
Shake, got my fries, and I got my 2 Chicken Shacks. Mike Jones, who? 8004. Hit my Jones up on the low. Nah, y'all can't get my phone number. Get into it. I'm gonna get into this chicken shack. The chicken is antibiotic free. They put some pickles, some lettuce. They butter the bun as well too. It's a good looking sandwich.
Enough.
No, come on, we're halfway.
It's a great sandwich. Just what I need on this good Sunday after a game. If you want a great chicken sandwich, make sure you can get it on a Sunday. 2 may not be enough. Everyone's doing the waffle fries or the regular, but crinkle, it's definitely a good switch up in your fry arsenal. See what this cookies and cream shake is talking about. Cookies and cream, ever since I was a kid, had me in the chokehold. It's an amazing shake.
Yo, Mr. Armstead, I feel it's been mad, man.
For real, bro?
Yes.
Appreciate that, bro. I was looking for a chicken sandwich after our game. Shake Shack, now in Jacksonville. Make sure you come check it out. I'm here at Shake Shack.
There you go.
Sorry. I'm here at Shake Shack.
We know, Eric.
Yeah.
There's no way that's enough. He literally said this is not enough.
At the beginning, the lady asked him, he's like, "You're a linebacker?"
Yeah,
And he
she's
goes,
like-
"D lineman."
It's fine. It's whatever. It's
How
the same
often?
thing.
So now. Oh my goodness. I'm just trying to to me, Chris, that makes less sense to me than the Jared McCain TikToks. Because who is checking Eric Arm? Oh, actually,
yeah.
Now I'm gonna go eat.
Well, it's obviously an ad too.
No, but originally, I don't know. These were.
I think it was just like hey, I'm going to give you insight into
Yes,
NFL lifestyle.
that's how it
he
started.
Started with here's how my rookie scale contract ended up getting.
And those were
divvied
interesting.
out. And
Those
that
were
was
interesting.
But it feels
He
like
sold out.
Yeah. Well, there's
to eat
also only
chicken.
so many of those interesting things you could do before it's just come along with me to see what a D lineman eats for lunch. What's inside of our Jacksonville Jaguars cafeteria is a million times coming. And to a certain people, it's interesting, but I think to 98% of the population, it's like, what
Eating
exactly?
2 chicken sandwiches is just like
He can definitely
riveting.
do more than that. I mean, Eric Armstead is huge, even for football standards. The dude is probably 6. We'll just give him 6'6".
Oh, at least, yeah.
I don't want to, put people's weight out there, but he's a big boy. So I feel like you said you do too.
When we got Shake Shack,
yeah.
Shake Shack, I got a burger and a chicken sandwich.
Right.
And I ate it during a 5-minute break.
Right.
So he's lying.
And he said the crinkle cut fries.
Tell him, Alan.
He's lying.
Tell him.
Yeah.
Get him.
He's lying
Yep.
Crinkle better than
about how much he eats. And now he's lost all credibility to me. And his team stinks.
Wow.
And he's stuck in the UK right
hold
now.
on. That's
I was going to
Sacramento's
say,
finest.
there's no way this Shake Shack was after the London game. Because he said after this game, yeah.
Hey, and don't forget, I'm trying to make it sound like I'm in a
That's good.
bathroom.
Sounds good.
And don't forget the chicken sandwich 2 for 20.
Dude, he's got to get some. He has more emotion in this one than the Chick-fil-A one, so he's getting a little better, more comfortable.
Publix was the best because he got
Publix
3
was the
I don't know if
sandwiches.
I watched
so
the Publix
funny. It
one.
was so funny.
All right, coming up next, crosstalk.
Yay.
Whitey
Whitey loved
Gleason.
that segment.
Stiles and Watkins. And we get asked the question, have you guys talked about the King Spurs trade by Sean Cunningham? What are we getting? We'll tell you on the other side. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings. Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
For 76 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 76th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. look for the water wheel.
Hey, it's Michael Smirkanish. Business owners and CMOs, how do you plan on growing your business? Have you plateaued on your social media and online efforts? Why not tap into podcasts and radio? In the U.S., audio reaches more than 271 million people weekly. That's more than social media and digital combined. My friends at Radioactive Media know the recipe to launch, optimize, and scale performance by building compelling audio campaigns which work. I personally know the principles of Radioactive Media, their personal approach and knowledge of the medium, unparalleled. For advertisers who want to reach the right audience with the right hosts and programs, text the word profits to 511-511. Heck, you can even buy spots on my program. If you're a mid-sized company or well-funded startup with a monthly budget as low as 5 figures, they can help. Text the word profits to 511-511. Online, radioactivemedia.com. Text rates may apply.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now that fall is here, now is the perfect time to head to Stockton and check out a new Mercedes-Benz. I had the opportunity just last week to drive an all-new S-Class 550, and let me tell you, it was a sweet ride. The moment I hopped in, I felt like I was in a world of luxury. From the steering wheel to the seat cooling and even the power of the engine, I was impressed. And then, of course, when I hopped in my Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, I felt the same thing. So hurry in and take advantage of the Mercedes-Benz incentive bonuses up to $15,000. And they have tons of pre-owned vehicles as well, including C-Class sedans, GLC SUVs, and a whole lot more. Take it from me, you won't be disappointed. So take the short drive down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbofstockton.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you. Lightning and the thunder, thunder. Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Your water heater, old, rusty, forgotten, we hardly ever even think about them until there's no hot water. Right now, get incredible rebates up to $3,000 off and financing available for as little as $40 a month. Leave it to Bonnie to
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, 15 more minutes with you. And we are joined by Whitey Gleason. But Whitey, real quick before we bring you on into the convo to talk Jaden McDaniels on his way to the San Antonio to then
Jalen McDaniels.
Jalen.
Yeah.
Can I, he's traded now. I'm glad I don't have to deal with this anymore.
Can I tell you what I'll just say somebody told me as a way to helpful reminder is that Jalen L, it's an L to have him on your team. Ugh. No longer on this team, so I feel comfortable now revealing that. But
I think it was kind of it was fitting. Get it wrong one more time before he's off into the sunset.
Remember what all they gave up to get him?
Yes.
Yes, we were going down the kind of the cookie crumbs, if you will, as Sean Cunningham said that this is part one. And I asked Chris if this is still connected to what we thought the first part one was from the Raptors with Sasha and Davion. And, Chris kind of just said that we think now this is a separate new part one
Yeah.
to whatever the part two is going to be.
I will also say our very own Carmichael David did put out something is coming for the Kings. My guess at the 4. He put that out at 1:10 today. So
But that's what I'm talking.
That's a very Dave tweet.
If somebody says something like that to the point of Farmer in the Sack chat, you're thinking Cam Johnson. You're not thinking, somebody off the scrap heap. That's just what people are going to do.
But that doesn't make sense. Like, how does losing Jalen McDaniels equal bringing in a $16 million player?
Yeah, because now you have that's frees up.
I think Frankie said
5.7.
4 to 5 million.
You had about one.
He said so now you have 2 open roster spots,
Right.
and I think Jalen
5.4.
Yeah,
I would counter with this. What? To your point, I agree with you. So why are people like Sean and Dave, who are very well connected, making it a point to tell us this about a Jay Crowder of the world? I guess.
But just to let you know that, hey, the King, because there's a possibility that, I'm not saying that they are getting ahead of it or anything, but like the Kings already had forward depth issues, and then they get rid of pretty much their only backup forward besides Trey Lyles. And it's like, no, we're not there's going to be, it's not that we're just letting this guy go and we're going to keep the 2 open roster spots. It's we're letting this guy go. And hey, yes, it's not just because we didn't like him. It's because maybe there's a separate plan that's, not only are we getting rid of him, we're getting rid of him specifically because Matt Ryan got cut by the Pelicans yesterday, and we didn't think he was going to be available. And so we're going to jump on Matt Ryan getting here.
Yeah, they're not looking for a spare part here, presumably. They're not looking for a star, but they're looking to pick up, you figure if they're getting a front court player, they're hoping to get somebody who can actually play a little bit.
But that's not, yes. Yeah.
But not Cam Johnson.
Can we agree somewhere between Cam Johnson and Jay Crowder?
No, I think it's more Jay Crowder. Absolutely more Jay Crowder.
All right, we'll see. Real quick,
They used to be teammates, by the way.
Who's that?
Cam
Jay
Johnson.
Crowder and Cam Johnson. Yeah.
On the Suns?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick, we got to do our picks. Nate, I see Nate talking to Jay.
That's right.
Nate.
I forgot there's a game today.
We got to do our picks real quick.
Bills.
Ooh.
It's in Buffalo?
It's in New York, I believe.
Bills by 17.
Check, but I do believe it is.
I think the spread's only about 2.
It was a very low
if
spread.
If the Jets win this game, they're in first place.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying.
It is in New York.
It sounded
in New Jersey, I should say.
It sounded like we haven't counted up the week yet, but it sounded like I won the week.
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay.
I kind of briefly did a non-double checked analysis, and it looks like the only game that you picked wrong on Friday, Alan, was your loved Las Vegas Raiders.
That is so.
Besides that, you took the Bears, Packers, Colts, Texans, Bucks, Eagles, Ravens, Chargers, Lions, Falcons, Bengals, all won, except for your Raiders.
Stupid.
Those are your boys.
Stupid. I really want to pick the Jets because I do feel like this is a Jets
I think you're playing with house money. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure you've already won the week.
Then I'm going to do what I did last week.
Yeah, let it fly.
Jets.
Yeah.
And the Mets, by the way, grand slam, up 6-0 now. I'm going Jets.
I might have led you the wrong way. I think Nate only got 2 wrong last week as well. Nate got the Jaguars wrong. He picked the Jaguars and he picked the Saints. So I think this is actually
then I'll go
important.
Bills.
Okay, there you go.
I'll go Bills.
I'll go Jets then.
Okay.
I do think that the Bills are going to win. I don't believe in this. We're going to fire Robert Saleh and it's going to light a fire underneath our entire team. I do think the note on the Jets being in first place and back at 500 if they win this is definitely noteworthy, and I'm sure they're going to throw the kitchen sink at this game, but I just feel like the Bills are a better team, and I've just been very unimpressed by the Jets all year.
Yeah, Bills have kind of stumbled a little bit, so I think they're looking to get back on track, and you got to do it against a team that's a bit in shambles. Whitey, any big takeaways from the games this weekend? I was joking on the air about your co-host Kyle Draper, and we talked about the Nick Sirianni thing. I was actually I wouldn't say on the side of Nick Sirianni, but I felt like, hey, maybe it's just a banter thing. You guys boo at me and I'm going to get you back. Then I went on social media and saw the Philly radio stations and people saying he needs to apologize or pack his bags.
What did he say?
I don't even know if they caught the audio. He was just kind of like, what now? What now? What's up to the fans? And then brought his kids during the post-game presser to kind of make it seem like everything was softer than it was. And people thought he did that as a bit of a shield, maybe even subconsciously. But I thought, hey, maybe it's just, relationships are different. Then I went on social media and said, oh, no, they're not. Philly fans kind of hate him too.
Yeah, I'm wondering who's going to last longer, him with the Eagles or Deshaun Watson as a starting quarterback with the Browns. And
Deshaun is going to last longer. Money
as a starter.
They just came out today and said they're not moving.
Can't keep doing it. I mean, I think that applies to both teams. The way I look at it, you can't keep doing it. Why are you continuing with this?
Yeah,
for both teams.
And if you look at that's a problem with the Eagles, though. It's a bit of a wounded NFC. Lions just lost Aiden Hutchinson, and their biggest question mark was their defense.
So take advantage of that opportunity.
But you're starting over with the new coach in the middle of a season.
Mm-hmm.
How much has anybody ever won? Who's the last team to
come on?
Who's the last team to fire a coach in the middle of a season and win a Super Bowl?
I don't believe it's been done.
Okay.
Yeah, but does that mean that you have a better chance with Sirianni than
he already went to a Super Bowl?
Okay.
Did they go in spite of him?
So you are still on Sirianni's side.
I'm saying you're stuck.
Clearly.
I'm saying
I
you're
might
stuck.
kind of be on his side. No, you're clearly on his side.
No Christian McCaffrey and
Alan Sirianni and
Christian McCaffrey, and just because he's just a little prickly, you're gonna get rid of him and ruin your chances at getting back to the bowl.
He's a disgrace.
Whitey. A disgrace.
He is. The team has been in this. They've been in a terrible, terrible slide.
They just beat the big bad Browns. All right, fair enough. Niners get to relax, and like I said, the Lions, really biggest losers of the week, I would say, even though they were the biggest winners. Funny enough, Cowboys, and I would say also that division, Whitey. I think the Commanders, even though they lost to the Ravens, Commanders the best team in that division right now.
The best division in football is.
That's right. Talk about it.
Sure.
We the North.
That's right.
The NFC North.
The North. Yeah.
Incredible.
When you look at teams like the Packers
really scary.
And the Packers and the Lions.
They're like 17-5, right? I think the division overall.
It's insane. I mean, the point differentials through the roof. I mean, all the teams realistically think that they have a shot of really contending this year. It's scary. And I really don't. I mean, truthfully, I think the Bears are probably the worst of all the teams, but I don't necessarily think the records necessarily reflect who the best teams are in that division. I am very, very nervous about just the Lions and the Packers' future. As a Vikings fan, those two teams make me very nervous. And obviously the way the Bears are building, there's a chance that division in general just kind of becomes the class of the NFC for the time being. I mean, the NFC West had that run where, it was Rams, Niners, Seahawks, didn't matter, just not the Cardinals.
Alan's big on the NFC East. Apparently,
NFC least.
I'm not. I am not. I did get to watch. I was telling Chris, baby Stiles decided to wake up at 5, so I caught a lot of that London game. I really liked what I saw from Caleb Williams, and they got Keenan. I mean, it's really ridiculous, those weapons. Keenan Allen, Rome, like we talked about, and obviously DJ Moore. But really, even the tight end was going off. So. Yeah, the Bears are no joke. They're probably a little bit ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I think it's a little fool's gold.
I think this is exactly what they wanted, though.
Alan, I don't get to join you guys on Friday, so I don't get to do shout outs, but I would give a Monday shout out to all the rookie quarterbacks, because after 3 games, I know I was pointing out, as a lot of people were, none of them have thrown a touchdown pass yet. And now you look at it, they're all doing really well.
All doing really well.
Yeah.
And Drake May didn't look great, but we'll see once he gets a little bit more time, because even all of them, their first games were a little bit shaky. And
you guys, Spencer Rattler, participation ribbon for him as well.
Yeah, well, he had his flashes, right? I mean, look, once he finds his way to Vegas, if for some reason Shador doesn't, we'll be okay. Let's end the show with this, guys. 916 asked the question: are we getting Ben Simmons?
No.
Who's paying? Who is paying Ben Simmons, and do you want to pay Ben Simmons? I don't think the Kings want to, but somebody will. Yeah, somebody will, though, but it's not going to be the Kings. All right, coming up next, Drive Guys, Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, and Jay Johnson. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Congrats to our winner going to Fright Fest. I believe that was Ward from the Sack Chat going to Fright Fest. Enjoy yourself, Ward. More chances throughout the week. Thank you to our callers, texters, Sack Chatters. Nate, great job as always. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, like the beam.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite teams